It is this way, man. I'm sorry I exposed you to it, but it is. It's ugly, but it's necessary.
Cross over troubled waters cause I'm targeted.
A verbal assassin when I'm blasting.
Strictly head crushing, lead rushing through your bot. Can't cross over troubled waters cause I'm targeted.
A verbal assassin when I'm blasting.
Alright, this is King Bucho. Welcome to BDA Boxing, the boxing debate arena. We had the trivia show, now we have the show. We're gonna be talking about Alexander Usyk, who's fighting this Saturday. And we're gonna be... Well, the question is, can Usyk make it in the heavyweight division? I don't even know who he's fighting this Saturday. Somebody... I don't know who it is. So...
Chaz Witherspoon.
Yeah, I don't know who is he, man.
Somebody who lost to Seth Mitchell before Seth Mitchell got beat by Jonathan Banks.
All right, well, yeah, I
think
don't know.
He lost to Tony Thompson, Seth Mitchell, and someone else's whose name. Ariola via disqualification. But like everybody that he's kind of beaten is either a losing record guy, a terrible journeyman, or someone who was never going to be good anyway.
Yeah, so how much is that fight gonna... What's that fight gonna tell us about Usyk?
If he gets hit, it'll tell us he can take a punch from a heavyweight, because Witherspoon does hit hard. He's got 29 KOs and 39 wins, I think. Or 38 wins. But he does actually, he has actually one-punch knockout power. I've seen him knock out a good few guys. And I remember in the fight against Ariola, I think that's the most hurt I've ever seen Ariola with one of those left hooks that he caught him with. He actually, made Ariola do the Bambi legs hard. So he can bang.
Okay. Well, what are people saying in the chat? We have John Gonzalez, Box, Blue Collar Sports TV, The Quags, Fight Scout, Seamus Carey. Bucho better be drinking. No, there's no more drinking on this show. I think we've established that. What else? John Gonzalez says, Beeble fighting recognizes cousin. What? Yeah. No, but seriously, guys, I'm gonna open the phone lines so we can get this party started. I want to hear what you guys think. What did Wilder say about Usyk? That he wasn't concerned about him? Or
he's not concerned about him. He's not a threat.
Okay.
Basic look 101.
How tall is Archie Spilka?
6'3", 6'4". Usyk's taller than Chisora, has a longer reach than Andy Ruiz, and is heavier than Wilder.
Yeah, he's not a small guy. You know, they keep talking about Usyk as being this, he's like a I don't know, man, like Andre Ward or something moving up to a heavy division. I mean, come on, man. This guy's 6'3". We've seen throughout history heavyweights that, I mean, fucking Muhammad Ali was 6'3". I know he was in a different era, but
He didn't have the same type of giants, but look, Usyk's not a small man. Look, Povetkin can cause these guys problems, and Usyk's probably larger than Povetkin overall.
yeah, it's true.
Joseph Parker's only an inch taller than him. He has a shorter reach than him. I mean, Dillian White has a longer reach than him, but he's about the same height as him. I mean, he's in that, like, he's not a tiny heavyweight. He's like a mid-sized heavyweight.
Mm-hmm. And like you say, he has certain things physically. He actually has those bigger than the other opponents, like the reach. You know what I mean? So
He also has better feet than them, better jab. He's faster and he's able to exert more volume. So he's dangerous.
yeah,
Yeah, and also look, he also has the experience from that semi-amateur competition that he fought,
World Series
before
boxing.
becoming a pro. Yeah, that, and plus we can be, he's for sure sparring with the heavyweights for a long time, so everything is gonna be all right.
yeah. I'm just setting up the phone lines here, guys. So
In the World Series of boxing, like, he beat Junior Fai, beat Joe Joyce, he beat Majidov. Like, Majidov's a 3-time amateur world champion. He beat Joe Joyce. These are super heavyweights. He made Joe Joyce look stupid, man. Joe Joyce just beat Brian Jennings. I mean, Usyk can fight against these
Start your
guys.
show now.
Easy.
Four.
yeah, I hear echo from somebody.
Alright, so Bucho's just currently, he's just setting up the phone line, guys. So, I guess I'm gonna fill in for King Booch. Let's see. James Erickson wants to know how would Usyk do against Ali anyways. I've no idea, but I think it'd be a very good fight. We'll see how Usyk is a heavyweight. Ali had an amazing chin. How old is Usyk? Usyk is... Fuck, how old is Usyk? I think he's 32.
Yeah, I
he'd
think
be
he's like
33 in
31.
January. What's that official?
No, I was just saying, I thought he was about 31.
Yeah, no, he's 32.
Oh, already. Okay. By the way, can you hear me well?
There's some
Yeah.
echo, man. I hear echo. Yeah.
Oh, I hear it too.
Okay, so then it's going to be the best if I leave. I'm gonna continue listening. I'll be in the chat room. Thank you for having me.
All right, man. Try to fix that shit, man. Try to figure it out. All right, take care.
Thanks.
Oh well, that's
Thank you.
unfortunate.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah, seems like a lot of people are busy these days. Well, yeah. Anyways, the phone lines are open. I repeat, the phone lines are open. So call in. The number is on your screen. We're talking about Alexander Usyk in the heavyweight division. What are his chances? Deontay Wilder isn't concerned at all, he claims.
That's because Deontay Wilder's not going to fight him.
Well, I mean, you never know at this point, right? How long does Wilder have in the heavyweight division? Like, he's 34.
Yeah.
He relies on power, but also kind of athleticism, I'd say. You know what I mean?
At least power's the last thing to go.
Yeah. Yeah, but if something goes, it would be his athleticism, right? His speed.
He still needs to beat Ortiz and Fury, though. Like, before an Usyk fight can even be considered. He's got those 2 fights signed, apparently, according to all sources. And then, like, with Usyk, like, he's about to fight Witherspoon. He's sitting on that mandatory for the WBO, which you can kind of cash in whenever. Then you've got the Ruiz-Joshua thing. It depends on who wins that fight as well, because what happens if Andy Ruiz vacates that WBO instead of fighting Usyk? Then Usyk will be ordered to fight for that, and then who will he fight for that belt? And then will they even consider making an Usyk-Wilder fight? Considering Usyk's with Eddie Hearn?
Yeah, no, it's gonna be the same shit. That's AJ Wilder.
Exactly. Because Wilder won't work with Eddie Hearn, will he?
So what we have here is, all right. So we have Usyk with the Zone and Eddie Hearn, and then on the Zone side, AJ, Usyk. On the other side, PBC, you have Ruiz.
Dillian White and Parker, by the way.
On the Zone, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
White, Parker. I guess Chisora. You wanna put him in there?
Yeah, you can put Shizzy in there.
And
And
then yeah.
if you want, you can put Hergovich in there.
Who?
Hergovich.
The Croatian guy.
The Croatian Vitaly Klitschko, who's going to go on to world domination and take over the heavyweight division.
Whoa. Calm down here. Calm down. Joe Joyce would be with ESPN?
Joe Joyce is with, he's with
Frank.
Frank at the moment,
Yeah.
so put him on ESPN, I guess, BT, ESPN.
Yeah, B. All right, and then we have PBC, Ruiz, obviously Wilder, Furies with ESPN.
Pulev is with ESPN.
Who?
Pulev as well as with ESPN.
Okay, I didn't know that shit.
Because he's sitting on the IBF mandatory.
Hmm.
So he's a part of this.
What's the Polish guy's name? Nowacki?
Adam Kovnatski.
Kovnatski. I can never spell his goddamn name. Kovnatski.
Kownacki.
Okay, Kovnatski. Here's a heavyweight. PD guy. Baby Miller.
Yeah, Jarrell Miller, he's probably going to end up with Eddie Hearn. No, he's probably going to end up with Eddie Hearn.
No. What? You think he going with Bob Arum or some shit? Sorry, Frank.
No, there's been like 15 interviews with him and Eddie Hearn. He keeps asking to sign him, and it looks like that his next fight could end up with Matchroom on the Zone.
Mm-hmm.
It looks that way, but right now we'll just put him as undecided.
Why are all these promoters going after him? Like he's so that valuable, you know what I mean? Because
there isn't really that many good free agents in the heavyweight division. We also need to put Hunter on the Zone as well.
Yes.
He's a player.
Hunter. Well, it's starting to look like the Zone has a better heavyweights, the most heavyweights.
And we can put Povetkin on the Zone as well, because his last 3 fights have all been on the Zone. Or his last 2 fights have both been on the Zone.
Okay.
Huey Fury and Joshua.
Hey, is it true that Chisora might be fighting David Price?
It's not that he might be. That fight is confirmed.
Oh my god, this is so man. This guy. Okay, what's your prediction for that fight?
Chisora in 6 rounds, but I think David Price, like, he can cause him a couple of problems off of the jab. But once Chisora finds his rhythm, he's gonna take him down. He's gonna suck the life out of him to the body, doubling up that jab, and then he's gonna left hook and knock his ass out.
Jesus, I mean that guy. If he gets knocked out again, he must retire. I mean, he's worse than American at this point.
Forever, Bucho. Forever. I'll never get tired of watching David Price get chinned.
Jesus.
You gotta admit, it's entertaining.
Yeah, it's a highlight reel. I'll say that. But man, the guy, his brain must be all smashed. But anyways, yeah. All right. What do you guys think in the chat? John Gonzalez says I'm rooting for Pricey. All right. Overhand says that Price Meister is one of a kind. Yeah, one of a kind knockout. Aaron Rosas, maybe he's a masochist, man. Aaron Rosa says cold as ice. Black Lomachenko says Price versus Amir Khan. They are on the same level of chin level.
Yeah, David Price can put Amir Khan into Road Z though.
Yeah.
He's a 6'9", 265-pound heavyweight who actually does hit kind of hard.
Olympic gold medalist.
Bronze medalist.
Oh, bronze. Oh, I always thought he was a gold medalist.
No, that was Audley Harrison.
Yeah, Audley Harrison.
Amir was a silver medalist as well. 2004.
Yeah, that I know. Yeah, that I remember.
Athens, 04.
Damn, 2004, man.
Yeah,
Jeez.
Amir Khan was 17 turning pro, dude.
Oh.
Like, if you think about how long Amir Khan's been around, he's younger than Wilder.
Jesus.
I'm pretty sure he is. Yeah, Amir Khan's 32.
I wonder if Amir Khan achieved what he thought he was gonna achieve, or what people thought he was gonna achieve. You know?
No, he didn't.
I have that feeling that, I mean, don't get me wrong. He did some stuff, right? I mean, he became world champion. He had big fights.
He was a unified 140 champion.
Yeah.
He beat Judah. He knocked out Judah. He was coming off the McCluskey win, the Moidana, Paulie Malignaggi, Dimitri Salitic, Telnik. Like, these were all back to back. The shot Barrera win, and Fagan before that he got knocked out by Prescott, but he beat Fagan, Barrera, Telnik, Salitic, Malignaggi, Moidana, McCluskey, Judah back to back before that split decision loss to Lamont Peterson and then getting knocked out by Danny Garcia.
He wasn't a bad career. But he wasn't what I guess it should have been.
Well, I remember at the time, it's not about what it should have been, but it was what people were saying he'll go on to do. You know what I mean? Fastest hands ever. He'll beat Floyd Mayweather. He can beat Manny Pacquiao. This guy can be the future undisputed 140 and 147 champion. Those words were said by Sky Sports. They were said by Warren. They were said by different promoters. They were said by fans in the UK. Like, they really, really believed that shit.
Yeah.
He could beat them all. And then when his chin got exposed against Prescott, they came off that a little bit.
But even after the Prescott knockout, people were still in denial. It was a one-off. You know, it wasn't like, oh, wait a minute, his chin is not that. It was like, well, he was struggling to make weight. He got a lucky punch, whatever, and they dismissed
Didn't he get dropped versus Willie Limit before that?
Oh, then I don't know. But I remember there was a bunch of excuses. There was a bunch of excuses.
I think he got dropped in the 6th versus Willie Limond.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, when he fought against he did really well against Salida. I know that. Didn't he struggle with McCluskey for a little bit?
I don't remember. I don't think I watched those fights. That was before Prescott.
No, one was the fight that Willie Limond was before Prescott, but Paul McCluskey was actually the fight before Judah. The fight Amir Khan won on a technical decision before he knocked out Judah.
I don't remember that.
McCluskey was after Moidana before Judah.
Well, yeah, his chin is up there with the worst. I should say down there with one of the worst chins in boxing. And David Price, David Price gave that guy some credit. He's in the heavyweight division. You know what I mean? All right, you're getting knocked out.
He may have RTD'd against Kuzman, but he didn't get knocked out by Kuzman or even dropped. You know what I mean? Even against, I know he got starched by Povetkin, but he actually got caught with a lot of shots before that by Povetkin as well.
Yeah. So yeah, he hurt Povetkin, so. Give him some credit. But no, that guy, fuck. Like Stu used to say, the oxygen masks are gonna fucking come out in that fight.
Yeah. Look, I would... Is it bad that I would love to see David Price take on a real heavyweight puncher? Like an Erkin Tepper or Chisora, but more like Anthony Joshua, a Deontay Wilder or a Dillian White?
Yeah.
Is it bad that I would like to see that?
Yeah. You're insane.
I want everybody in the chat. Do you think I'm a horrible person for wanting to see David Price versus Deontay Wilder, or do you want to see it too?
Do you like those movies like Saw and...
More of a Hostel kind of good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I don't mind a little bit of snuff.
You have some issues. I'm pretty sure you like that weird porn where they're basically almost killing the girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's okay as long as it's real.
Yeah.
if it's the stage stuff, I can't really do it, Booch.
Man, you get some issues, man. Yeah.
Shut up! Doesn't matter. Shut up and take the pain. Take the pain!
That's the porn you watch. Alright. What are people saying in the chat? Overhand says Price versus Wilder, a good one. If Wilder gets KO'd, my grandpa... I guess you said by Grandpa Ortiz. Listen, I've been thinking about that fight. I wouldn't be surprised if Ortiz knocks him out. Not because Ortiz is that good. It's just because Wilder, in my opinion, is a knockout waiting to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I agree with Mark. I actually want to see the Price Wilder fight because Price will be Wilder's second best win.
It'd be one of his best wins, bro. It's not even a joke.
Oh
like,
my god, that's blasphemy.
Yeah.
bro, I'm gonna ask you an honest question. This is an honest question. Would you bet money on Dominic Breazeale to actually beat David Price?
No, and I think Price irons out guys like Stavern, Ariola. Beat.
Yeah,
So
I think he can out-jab them. He can get chinned, but he can just jab them the entire night. If he doesn't gas. That's the only problem there, Cameron. He does have, like, that mental gassing issue, David Price.
yeah, but I'd
like to see
I'd watch that
Pricey
fight.
versus Duapa, man. Pricey and Duapa, let's get that shit going.
It would be kind of a jab fest. Maybe he doesn't even Duapa. Maybe doesn't even stop. Doesn't stop fucking Price, man. And by the
If
way,
he doesn't stop Price, he can't outbox him. Price is a better boxer than Duapa.
yeah, you're right. That jab is pretty. It's not that bad. That Price jab.
It's actually an extremely good jab when he uses it and has full leverage on it. I mean, I know it was just David Allen, but he looked like Larry Holmes, didn't he? Like, he was rolling under shots, he was catching them with the jab, he was doing shuffles with his feet and then 1-2 on them, catching them to the body, coming in, rolling back under. Like, it was like watching Larry Holmes on fucking Ritalin.
Yeah, the Larry Holmes jab. Hey, John Gonzalez says that David Price would be Wilder's biggest win. What do you guys think about that?
No, probably second beyond Ortiz, but
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, look, Luis Ortiz would send David Price to the shadow realm. Look, I know the dude's like 70 years old, but he'd knock him out.
Nah, John Gonzalez is just trying to create some controversy over here. We know that we have Wilder fans listening, and he's just trying to piss them off. Guys, call in. The phone number's on your screen. Talk to us
Well,
about
Price
heavy
be Derek
division.
Chisora's best win.
Who's Chisora's best win?
Probably
Robert
Carlos
Hernandez.
Takam.
yeah, it's Carlos Takam, yeah.
Holy shit! And that wasn't that long ago, man.
He's always getting beat up in that fight before he knocked him out.
It was a good scrap, man. And then yeah. But Chisora, he's like never gonna go away because he always gets that one win that brings him back into the heavyweight division. You know what I mean?
He always beats some fringe top 15 guy who's like just outside that 15, but enough to get Chisora into the 15.
Yeah. That's how shitty. Does that tell us how shitty the division is, or what does that mean?
Nah,
I don't know if it tells us how shitty it is. I just think it tells us that Derek one inconsistent and one underrated. Because he can be very good and he can be quite bad as well. Look at him against Caballel, he was shit. But he was kind of robbed against Hellenius. So, I mean, he's not as bad as some people make him out to be. Well, because you lose to David Hay, pretty much in his prime. You lose to Vitaly Klitschko and give Klitschko not the easiest fight of Klitschko's career. And, I mean, that's one of his best performances, even though he got beat the fuck up. He gave Klitschko a tougher fight than most people did. Then who else did he fight? He lost to Fury twice, but the first fight with Fury was actually kind of tight. And then Fury put on a masterclass in the second one. So, I mean, Derek's not that bad, man. I know he lost to Caballel, but he didn't know who he was and he went in there untrained. He even said that. So, he's not a bad fighter. I'm actually disappointed him and Parker aren't fighting Bucho because how good is Parker? How good is he?
Parker is as good as that 12th round against Dylan White. There's potential there.
He's a potentially good fighter, but he lost to Dillian White and Joshua Barr. He didn't make easy work of Hughie Fury. The fight was just terrible. When he fought Ruiz, a lot of people thought Ruiz beat him. So, I don't know, man. And then he had a tough fight, not a tough fight, but he performed really badly against Leopold.
Yeah. And against Dylan White, yeah, he was losing the whole fucking fight, basically. I mean, do we give him credit for what he did in one single round? That's like giving credit to Julio Chavez Jr. in that Sergio Martinez fight.
No, he
Where
won
he
4
showed
rounds.
up for one
He
round.
won 4. He won 4.
All right. You're right.
But
He wasn't maybe
that
that
Dillian
blowout.
White fight, though, was extremely competitive anyway. Except for 2 of them, he was very competitive in those rounds. That was one of the best fights that year. A heavyweight.
In the chat, Toniato James saying Parker was good when he was up and coming. He's poor now. Yeah, we can agree that maybe he never was that good. I mean, obviously you're gonna look good when you're fighting lesser opposition, right? Now he's stepping it up, and we're probably seeing the real Joseph Parker, man. How old is Joseph Parker?
26, 27.
He's a young heavyweight.
He's still relatively young. Like, this guy's the same age as Hrgovic, isn't he?
Oh, I don't know. Probably. Doc saying, what the fuck Butcher's talking about? Parker versus White was very close. I don't know. I thought White was winning the whole fight. What do you guys think?
I thought it was quite close. Like, I said 4 rounds minimum. Like, he won 4 clear rounds, Bucho. That's what I'm saying. There were swing rounds in there. But I felt White won the fight. I scored it to... I can't remember my exact score. I think... Because they did call the headbutt an actual knockdown, didn't they? So you have to give the 10-8 round to Dillian according to what was called by the referee. So, I mean, I think I had Dillian win by 2 or 3 points. But it was a tight fight. It wasn't as, like, every round bar 1, Booch.
Toniato James says Parker should have beaten White, got robbed by corruption. I just remember... I didn't score the fight, which is watching it, right? And I remember Parker again being... just passive, not throwing enough punches. The same Joseph Parker that shows up in big fights doesn't do enough. You know what I mean? And the only reason why he beat Hughie Fury was because Hughie Fury is even worse than Joseph Parker when it comes to activity. So, anyways, maybe I'm being too harsh on the guy.
Hughie Fury makes Tyson Fury look like fucking Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Because of the offense, so...
It's like, do they even hit the bag when they're doing the bag training, or they're just running around, like, circling it and not throwing any punches? Because that's the type of training they're fucking having.
Like, the thing that frustrates me about Hughie Fury, right? One of his losses, well, where he had to Parker and Fury and Hughie Fury, after the fight, were like, we need to be more active, he needs to be more active with his punches, throw more punches. It never changes. Ooh. Like, he looked good against Sexton, but when it comes to stepping up, he's always been the same.
Just like Parker. All right, guys, we have a phone call, so we're going to take it. Let me just make sure the sound is on. All right. 337, you're on the air. 337.
What's going on, family?
What's up? Okay, can you turn your volume up a little bit?
1 second. What about now? Is it better?
Can't hear the caller, Bucho.
Can you hear me now?
A little bit. Hold on. All right. Oh, wait, hold on. All right, go ahead. Dead game.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's a little bit low though. Guys, can you hear him?
Hello?
Yeah, that's better. All right, go ahead.
What are we talking about, family?
We're talking about Usyk in the heavyweight division, and Wilder's comments. Wilder said that he is not concerned about Alexander Usyk.
I mean, I think we need to see what Usyk gonna do at the heavyweight division. I like Usyk fighting style. He's a big dude. He can move. I think he can give some heavyweights some problems with his athleticism. We got to see how he stands up to these big guys, though. I think he can do pretty good. I heard him call out Wilder's name. I don't think he need to do that just yet. But I like Usyk. I think Usyk need to fight some lower tier guys in the heavyweight division, and then work his way up. You know. That's what I think, bro. One of my top guys in the heavyweight division is Pulev.
Okay.
Kirkrap Pulev. I like Pulev, man.
Jeez.
I'm sleeping on Pulev.
Why is that? Why is that, man?
I mean, Pulev can fight, man. The dude can fight. I mean, I really been checking him out. He can box. He's strong. He's a good fighter. And you know, I think some people ducking him. To be honest with you, I know that duck word goes out a lot, but Pulev is tough, man. Pulev is tough.
Pulev pulled out of 3 mandatories.
Yeah, he pulled out of Joshua fight. He pulled out of I do agree with Dead
What?
Game to some extent. I think Pulev's a good fighter. I just think he's wasted so much of his career fighting absolute garbage. Guys like Samuel Peter, Kevin Johnson, all these guys. When he could have fought
Who's his best win?
decent top 15 guys.
Huey
Tony
Fury's
Thompson,
best win.
really? Thompson?
But yeah, but at the time he fought Thompson was 43.
Thompson probably still beat Huey Fury at that time.
Let Dead
anyway. I
Game
mean-
talk. Let Dead Game. Go ahead, Dead Game.
Nah, not everybody's jumping up to fight Pulev, though. I'm gonna just let you know that right now. Usyk,
Dylan White.
I mean, what? What's that?
I said Dylan White didn't want to fight Pulev in Bulgaria, so he had the chance to fight Pulev.
Yeah, man, they're not gonna go out there. Nah, Dillian White is not gonna go out there, man. Dylan gets smashed by Pulev, bro.
Oh,
I
okay.
think so. And a lot of these guys, man, I think a lot of these guys, bro, they use a name, they clout chasing, bro. They just talking. A lot of this stuff is talk, just trying to get their name out there. Like Usyk shouldn't be mentioning Wilder's name right now. That should be the last name in his mouth. But what it does is it makes people talk about it. You know, that's probably why we're talking about him right now, because he brought up Wilder's name. But let's just see how the guy do, man. I like Usyk.
Yeah, well,
Let's just see what he does
I
in the heavyweight division.
I think Wilder should be the first guy that Usyk mentions, because other than Wilder having that punch, Usyk that fight. Wilder has a puncher's chance, in my opinion. Usyk wins every round. That's my opinion.
I mean, Wilder boxes better than people, but Wilder can box, and Wilder keeps good distance. He's very athletic. Wilder's technically better than what a lot of people think. I mean, that's a fight. I mean,
Do you think that Alexander?
you don't
Sorry,
want to mess with Wilder, man. Wilder's
Dead
just
Game.
another monster,
Dead
bro.
Game. Do you think that Wilder can outbox Usyk? Certain rounds, you know, he can.
I know. I believe he can. I think with the jab. I think with keeping the distance. I think with Usyk. I mean, really, I think to beat Wilder, you need to get on the inside, like almost Sean Porter Wilder. But to get in the inside, you're gonna go through. You got to go through that right. And I mean, I don't see nobody in the heavyweight division right now that can go through that right hand to get on the inside to really get to the body. I think if you can get to the body of Deontay, I think you can break him down. He's the guy
Arthur
who's so
Spilk was
athletic, man.
outboxing Deontay Wilder.
I mean, Deontay Wilder, a lot of people believe he lost to Tyson Fury, and Fury didn't fight him on the inside.
Well, we talking about, all right. Now, Tyson Fury is a different beast, too. Tyson Fury is almost 7 foot, and he move around like a ballerina.
That's a good point.
That's a different type of animal, too. I mean, Tyson Fury is a beast.
Do you think Tyson Fury moves as well as Usyk?
I think Tyson Fury destroyed Usyk. I think Tyson Fury destroyed Usyk, man.
Destroys.
Usyk will have the best movement in that division.
I want to see Usyk. Let's see Usyk fight a few guys in the heavyweight division, and I can really make a better predicament on that, because Usyk is good, you know, but let's
Oh,
just
man.
see, bro.
Yeah, that's
Let
a
him
good point,
fight
though.
somebody that can fight, man. I think the Takam fight would have been the fight that we needed to judge him on. All this
That was a good
other
fight.
stuff was trash.
That game has a good point. I mean, we're clearly speculating over here because we haven't even seen him fight in the heavyweight division officially. You know, what I mean, because he did have
At
to.
the same time, man, like,
Go ahead.
Artur Spilka was out boxing Deontay Wilder, and Usyk is around the same size as him, 100 times better.
Ho ho.
Then the other thing is we've seen Usyk perform against guys who've already like Breedis knocked out Manuel Char, WBA regular champion. He beat Michael Hunter, and he nearly stopped Michael Hunter in the last round. Michael Hunter just beat Kuzman, and a lot of people have him ranked in the top 10 of the heavyweight division. So we kind of know Usyk can compete against guys who can compete in the heavyweight division. Like Maris Briedis was the chief sparring partner for Vladimir Klitschko, and Vladimir Klitschko said that Maris Briedis is one of the most awkward, tricky fighters that he's ever fought against, sparring or otherwise. So we know that Usyk can do that, and we've seen him in the World Boxing Super Series put a schooling on Joe Joyce, who is a big puncher. So
I got a question for you, and I know I can probably look it up myself, but how old is Usyk?
Early 30s, isn't he?
what was the question?
How old is Usyk? 32, 33, I think.
Usyk is 32.
And Wilder's like 32,
He'll
33.
be 33, I think, in January.
Wilder's 34. Oh, we're gonna be 34.
It's not too old for a
Yeah,
heavyweight,
I
though.
mean, yeah, I mean, let's see what Usyk does, man. Like I said, I like Usyk, but let's just see what he does, because you know that's a different.
Show muted there.
They make weight categories for a reason.
Richo, you're muted.
When we're talking about these big guys like Wilder and and Ortiz and Fury and all these big guys, man, we stepping up to a whole different level. I mean, as you know, I mean, I'm bomb squad all the way until somebody can prove it wrong. Until Wilder showed me that he's not what I thought he was, and from now, I mean, the dude is he's a monster, and he's actually getting better. He's working on his craft, and I think after this next Ortiz fight, he's just gonna get better and better, man. He gets rid of Ortiz,
Really?
and then he fights Tyson. I mean, the sky's the limit for this guy, man. The sky's the
So
limit.
you think Wilder's still improving?
I think every boxer is improving every fight. And I think to really improve, you have to fight somebody that can push you. Like, to me, I don't think Tyson Fury is improving. I don't think Tyson Fury is going to improve much from the last Wilder fight, but I do believe Wilder is going to improve from the last Fury fight just because of the competition he's fighting and is what he's doing. I just think it's going to be a different fight, I mean, I just think Wilder's just a man, bro. I mean, the dude has power, undefeated, and he wants it, man. He wants everybody. He talks that trash and he backs it up. It's what it is, bro. I just, but back to the Usyk, like, I like Usyk, but we got to see. We got to sit back. All this speculation is good. That's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see him fight somebody, not a Tyrone Strong, not a Tazzy.
Who should he fight, in your opinion? Who's a good test for Usyk?
I think Michael Hunter. Let's run it back. Let's run it back with Hunter. That was a good fight. Run it back with Hunter. I would like to, let's say, like Povetkin. Not somebody that's really tall, somebody around his height, or if you should get somebody tall, somebody kind of chinny, I would put him against some soft touches, but not some not like Chadwick, the dude he's gonna fight, bro. Not against a Tyrone Strong, not against people like that. Like a real boxer,
Yeah.
Some of these UK guys, I mean, even like a Big Baby. I'd like to see him knock Big Baby out.
All right, man. Well, hey, thanks. We're gonna move. We have another call, but if you wanna call later, go ahead. All right, but we're gonna move on now.
All right, brothers, y'all be easy.
All right, take care. All right, we have Muscle Memory, I believe. Muscle, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Bucho?
How are you doing, man? What's on your mind?
I'm a bit discouraged. YouTube just blocked my fight that I was trying to upload. It was in Russian too. I thought like this time around they won't block it because when I tried the English one, they blocked it. So just wasted like 4 hours because the processing alone takes like an hour.
Bastards.
Yeah,
that's the game you play.
The previous caller said, I think if Gassiev actually like fully recovers to 100%, I'd rather see Gassiev fight Hunter at heavyweight. I think that would be more interesting.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. So what do you think about Usyk's chances in the heavyweight division? Do you see this as a problem? Did he need to, like, are you unsure of Usyk's chances of making it a success?
I think it'll be successful if the fights are made, if they're made on time, if there's no lag in between, if there are no injuries. If you asked me like 2 years ago before the World Boxing Super Series began, I was kind of skeptical on him. I know he was coming in ranked number 1, but I was kind of skeptical because he kind of seemed like a pillow puncher to me. And then boy, he proved us wrong in the Bellew knockout and the way he survived Gassiev too, because Gassiev was arguably the heavy hitter, right? The strongest in the cruiserweight. So I think he'll be just fine, just because he's not small. You know, he's, what is he, like 6'3", 6'4" himself?
Yep.
And Wilder, if you guys remember in the Fury fight, it's not like Wilder was as heavy as Fury. He was only like coming in at I think 212, 215. So Usyk at 6'4" comes in at 220. I think he'll do just fine.
Yeah, anything you want to add, Mark?
I didn't hear what he said there, bro.
You can't hear him at all.
My sound cut out, not yours, Bucho.
Ah, fuck. Oh.
What was it that he said at the end?
He was talking about that he's not a small heavyweight. At 60.
No, he's not a small heavyweight. This dude, we'll find out what his weight is exactly this weekend. Right? We'll find that question out. Is he going to be 210, 215, 220? If he's above 215, he's the same weight as Wilder. If he's 220, like 221, 224, he's not far off Joey Parker. So, I mean, he's 6'3", he's got a good reach, but here's the thing about him. It's not just the size. It's at 200 pounds, he was able to throw over 400 jabs in a fight. Who does that for 12 rounds? That's unbelievable. His work rate's phenomenal. His back foot game is sick. He does have some holes that can be exploited, especially by a big puncher. When he comes forward, he's not that great, but you need the speed to be able to exploit that. None of those guys are as fast as Tony Bellew. Tony Bellew's a fucking light heavyweight.
What about people who say that he was hurt by Gassiev, and Gassiev is not even, well, he's not even a heavyweight yet. Should that be a concern?
He wasn't really hurt against Gassiev. Gassiev got a sympathy round. He landed a round and scored at 11 because he hadn't hit anything fucking most of the fight. And even then, Usyk just opened his mouth. That doesn't mean he was hurt.
What do you think, Muscle?
Same thing against multiple fighters.
He
smiled at fighters as well.
What do you think, Muscle?
To how he responded when he got hit by Gassiev?
Yeah, is that a concern?
No, not yet.
Okay.
He buckled for like a split second, but I didn't see any room for concern, really.
In the chat, people are saying that Gassiev is a massive puncher. Doc says, Ariola said Gassiev hits harder than Wilder. Yeah, listen, Gassiev is almost a heavyweight, right? So, I'm not...
I might be wrong, but he's sparred with Wilder, correct? Gassiev?
I'm not sure. Not
Because
sure.
I remember when asked, Gassiev gave surprisingly gave props to Wilder, saying like, yeah, like he thinks he's the best heavyweight, and it sounded like he's been in the ring with him, like sparring or something, like they've met.
Hmm.
I forgot exactly
I
what
don't
he said,
know,
though.
but
It was like a year and a half ago.
all right. What about Usyk's power though? That's the thing though. At 200, when you're above 200 pounds, you throw a good punch and you throw a proper punch, right? Not a slap or whatever. You turn your hips on the punch. And I think you can hurt anybody.
Or it'll be like death by like 200 cuts, or what's that saying?
But Jesus, I was gonna say also. Do you guys remember Chris Bird when he fought Jamil McCline? And Jamil McCline was much bigger than Chris Bird. At some point, Chris fucking Bird, who never had any power, landed a right hand and actually hurt Jamil McCline. So you throw the right punch at the right time in the heavyweight division, and I believe you can knock out anybody. So I don't know if people think that Usyk is gonna be a pillow-fisted fighter. I think they're wrong, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it is just early, and it sucks that like it's been so prolonged because of injuries and the pullouts, and now he's fighting his journeyman. Like, I'm sure he's gonna get like hate for that. I already read some of the comments on the ring, and there was like already hate for that, even though they said like it's not his fault at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's unfortunate that we have to watch Usyk fight this guy. Could be a waste of time. Who knows? But at least, like Mark said, we're gonna see at what weight Usyk is gonna come in at.
He looks big, Usyk. He looks big at the moment. I was watching him in a few interviews, and like across the shoulders, he looks a lot bigger. His legs look a bit thicker. He just looks kind of thicker, not tall. He just looks kind of more henched up. I'd say he's gained about 15 to 20 pounds already.
So he's gonna be coming at 225?
I'd say he might come in at about 220, 225, yeah. That's my prediction.
Man, I'm excited about this. Because
Well, if it's like 218, don't be surprised, or 220. The dude's a
yeah, I'm getting tired of these super heavyweights, man. And a lot of them are just fat. And let's just be honest, right? They're probably Usyk size, but they're just fat. And so
well, why
they're
does Eric
250.
Molina have more of a right to fight in the heavyweight division?
I know.
We all know what would happen if Usyk fought Eric Molina.
Yeah.
Or Roy Jones.
Well, Roy Jones, yeah. Yeah, another guy, Roy Jones, who fucking almost dropped, what's his, John Ruiz. I think fourth round. He landed a straight right and almost dropped under, John Ruiz. But he didn't want to pursue it. And, you know, the fight went 12 rounds, but he hurt fucking John Ruiz, man, because speed is power.
Who's
Anyways.
this, David Hay?
David Hay?
Well, David Hay was a power puncher anyway.
Yeah, but hey, there were questions about whether he can bring that power up to the heavyweights. He fucking did. He heard that fucking Valueb guy, remember?
Look,
Made him
if
fucking
you remember correctly, Ucho, some people were saying the question is, can his power cruiserweight come? Most people, yes, because that's what it was. Never his boxing ability that got David Hay, but
good point.
He was too powerful at cruiserweight for most of the fighters. That's what David Hay's strength was his power, not his skills.
No, of course. But, I mean, there was a question, right? Where, I mean, it's one thing to knock out a cruiserweight, it's one thing to knock out a 250-plus pound boxer. And I think David Hay could have knocked out anybody. If he had the force.
Knocked out Manuel Char.
The what?
Bradis brutally knocked out Manuel Char.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bradis. No, you're right. Listen, when you're at that certain weight, 200 pounds and up, like, fuck. You landed. Remember that haymaker that Steve Cunningham threw and landed on Wilder's chin? Fury's chin. Like, it was an over right hand, like a haymaker type of thing. That dropped Fury, man, because, you know, you're a 200 plus pound man. Anyways, that Usyk power thing, I think I think he can hurt a lot of heavyweights. Just as my opinion. But again, we have to wait and see. It's all speculation, people. Muscle, anything else you want to say?
Yes, two things before I go. One, I didn't get a chance to be on the post-fight stream.
Oh, yeah. Let's look at the
Golovkin,
predictions.
Derevyachenko.
Yeah. Let me look at the list. You said Muscle. It says triple GTKO stoppage round 10. All right. Give us your
11,
thoughts.
Yeah. The one post-fight analysis that I agree with, that I saw immediately, that was the most like sober-minded, was from Nordic Warrior. And then a couple days later, Fight Film or Precise did a very good post-fight analysis. So I mean, for anybody, I'm sure most of the people in the chat, you guys have seen those videos. So like, basically that's my stance. Like, I agree with those two post-fight analysis.
Okay.
Golovkin just landed the more precise punches, and in the end, one more round, Derevyachenko's second eye was going to be closing. I like Derevyachenko a lot. I really hope he gets a title shot against one of the paper champs, whether it's Andrade or Charlo. I see him being able to beat both. But unfortunately, he just didn't do enough to put that hurt on Golovkin. Because you guys have to remember, Golovkin technically never really lost a belt in the ring. So that old saying goes, you have to beat the champ like convincingly to take that belt off him. So like this IBF belt was still kind of like in Golovkin's possession. So he just didn't convincingly beat him. And yes, of course, Golovkin's age showed. He initiated more clinches than I've ever seen before. But what do you expect? The guy's 37, but he still landed crisp, like precise punches. Messed up Derevyachenko's face completely. I wasn't too thrilled with the knockdown. Kind of looked like he hit him over the head or whatnot. Derevyachenko got up pretty quick too. But even without the knockdown, I watched it twice. And the second time I watched it, better clarity, and I think it was like Polish commentary. So I was ignoring what was being said. And I scored it like 7-5. Yeah, there was like a lot of swing rounds, but again, Golovkin just did more damage.
Okay, what's your second point?
And my second point is we officially created a URL for the channel, so it's easier to find. So it's just youtube.com/Martial Ministry to find the channel, and been uploading more fights and stuff.
All right, perfect. Write it in the chat, man. Or in the Discord as well. All right?
I could put links because every time I do, they don't show up.
Yeah, no, you have to space them out, man. Actually, write it in Discord, and I'll post it. All right?
Okay.
All right, man. Thanks for the call.
All right, take care, guys.
All right, take care. Okay. Interesting. All right, Mr. BD, are you there? Mr. BDA. I think he's setting up his mic or something. I have his intro ready.
Well, I don't know why I came here tonight. I got the feeling that something.
Alright. He's a maniac, that's why. Nordic, if you want to join Discord, you can join us if you have Discord. I think the link is in the description, so you can join. Alright, so what was I gonna talk about, man? Let's go to the chat over here. The Quack said a lot of Chenko's shots were not landing, most were blocked on the elbows, and the headshots were rolled or blocked. It was a great fight, but Triple G did the better work in my opinion. Okay. Seamus is saying that BDA is getting blessed, probably. BDA, you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yep. Welcome to the show.
How do I... Wait, thanks. Hello, everybody. Just real quick, how do I sound? Everybody in the chat on the YouTube, because remember the last time I sounded very distorted. So I'm just curious how I sound now.
Here you sound fine.
Can you listen on the stream?
If you sound fine here, you sound fine on YouTube because it's going through my computer.
Okay, but the last time nobody noticed until afterwards when you said
everybody's saying good. Saying
right.
Brit says
you can't
good.
really trust the people nowadays in the chat.
You sound different, BDA clone. You sound like Apology. No.
That's what I'm saying. Just give it. You know what? Fuck, I'll
it
give
doesn't
a
make
listen.
sense because, God, man, can you BDA?
Yes.
You sound okay. Everybody's saying okay. All right. Somebody said apologies. It's fucking John Gonzalez. Are you gonna take his word for it?
All right.
All right.
So who's here right now? Is it?
So it's me and Mark.
Oh, McGregor, you there?
His name is no longer McGregor.
Oh, come on. I'm not going to go along with that, man. I'm not going to go along with the whole thing. I'm changing my name. You can't change your name. What are you, a tranny? Come on.
I know. It's like next thing he's going to be like, my name is Maria or some shit.
His name is
Jessica.
Mark. Now next is going to be Maria. Come on. You can be
Tranny.
transracial if you want, but you cannot just go around changing your name, man. Come on.
Disgusting.
Hold on a second.
Anyways, we're discussing the... All right.
Well, G fight.
Yeah.
So how did you have the fight? Who did you have winning?
Well, I haven't rewatched the fight yet, so I had Derevyachenko winning the fight. Then again, there was a bet that was made at the last moment for a draw, so I was kind of pissed off that I didn't get the draw. And then, like, not a single judge gave it to Derevyachenko, right? Or not even a judge gave it a draw. So I was like, you know, who's the A side, right? Who's the B side? But then again, it wasn't a robbery. I think it was a close fight. I have to rewatch it. I watched some rounds, though. I watched some of the Precise's videos, fight film. Interesting information, you know, about clean punching and stuff. But, I mean, there was moments where Golovkin was on the back foot, man. It looked like it was Derevyachenko who was putting in the work.
Yeah.
And how is he backing him up with slaps? You know what I mean? Like, the slaps really hurt? It was a tactical move. Was it a tactical move from Golovkin? Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say your slaps hurt, man. I mean, I'm hearing a bit of an echo there. Slaps can hurt, man. Joe Calzaghe proved that point. Jacobs, I mean, we've talked about it before. He sort of slaps with his shots, but I mean, he's such a big dude, and I don't know what it is that gives a guy power. We've talked about it on the show. Numerous people have posited theories about what makes somebody hit hard, but evidently, sometimes if you got power, whether you're slapping or not, those punches still hurt. And like we were talking about a little bit about that behind closed doors, about how if those were some slaps, there were some hard slaps because they were snapping Golovkin's head back and forth. I mean, those type of shots, whether they're slaps or not, they hurt, and they're the type of shots that the judges love to see because they are the most apparent blows. So I can definitely see Derevyachenko winning the fight. You know, Bucho, some people usually say, BDA, you try to be too objective. You don't pick a side. If I were a judge and it was my job that night to decide who won the fight, I wouldn't have a problem saying Derevyachenko. I mean, I don't have a problem with people who have Golovkin winning the fight as well. But I just thought, I don't think either group, whether you're a Golovkin guy who thought he won or whether you thought Derevyachenko won, I don't think you can say for certain that one guy deserved the victory over the other.
Yeah, it was a close fight. But I saw moments when Golovkin wasn't doing shit, man. Wasn't doing much. And yeah, I mean, the face thing, fuck, Golovkin, in 2 rounds, he can bust your face up like that. And then it starts swelling up for 12 rounds, for the rest of the fight. Right? Does that mean that he won most rounds because that he was beating on that face consistently throughout every round? I don't know. You know, that's why we score each round separately. You know what I mean? Remember Morales against Maidana?
Yeah.
Remember that fucking eye that Morales had? And that happened at the beginning, like round 2 already. It was swelling up like that shit. Somebody could look at it and say, well, look, are you going to tell me actually it was a close fight? Or that Morales won the fight? I thought Morales won that fight. He actually even hurt Maidana. But anyways, you know, just based on the eye, you can't really say, well, Morales clearly lost the fight. Look at his fucking face. You know, and I'm not saying anybody here is saying that, but like to use it as it can be deceiving. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, one of my favorite fighters who everybody gives me crap over liking is Bernard Hopkins, and he always used that criteria for why he was robbed of certain fights. Like in the Kilzagi fight, for example, he said, I dropped him, I busted him up, and everything. Busted him up. You cut him a little bit on the nose, like you didn't bust him up. Or when he fought Chad Dawson, I think it was in the second fight, and he cut him over the 2 cuts, I think, over both eyes with headbutts. And he was saying after the fight, well, look at him. I unboxed him. I cut him. And I'm thinking, you cut him with headbutts. In other words, what I'm trying to get at is, what does facial damage really have to do? Because if we really get down to it, you could look at Golovkin against Canelo in the rematch, and he looked more busted than Canelo. So what does that mean? Does that mean that Golovkin didn't win the fight? I had Golovkin winning the rematch against Canelo. So I'm not judging by facial damage. I'm judging by who's controlling the action, ring generalship, clean and effective punching, and that's about all you can do really to judge a fight.
Yeah, Doc in the chat saying it's awesome how Triple G isn't allowed to fight on the back foot. I mean, nobody's saying that. I mean, that's like me saying, hey, Jacobs was fighting off the back foot. I mean, like, was he really fighting on the back foot? I mean, it depends on the fight, but...
Well, like you said, Bucho, Triple G wasn't fighting on the back foot. He was getting backed up against Derevyachenko.
He wasn't in a situation.
God. He wasn't in a situation like the the Canelo rematch, where he was jabbing and Canelo was the one trying to pressure him, but not really able to back him up all that much. Here, he was getting his head snapped back, and he was forced to take steps back. So, and also one thing that it's clear about Golovkin is one of his weaknesses is that he's not all that great of a counterpuncher because he loads up so much on his shots. That's another criticism I had of Golovkin is he kept loading up on the hooks, and all Derevyachenko was doing was weaving under those big hooks. And at some point, I'm thinking, Golovkin, when are you going to change it up a little bit? That being said, let's talk about the things he did right, because again, Derevyachenko's face wasn't getting all swollen up and looking like a raccoon because he was he ate some shells or something. He had an allergic reaction. No, he got busted up himself. I mean, Golovkin was landing some shots behind the guard too, and his jab was working overtime as well. Not as much as I would have liked, but when his trainer told him, listen, you have to be active out there, he did keep pumping that jab, which was about the best punch I believe he was landing, other than those overhand rights behind the guard. What did you think, Buchu?
I'm watching who Doc is saying backing up isn't losing. Man, is this guy getting the fucking point or what, man?
I don't think so. I don't think so. But
oh god, man, he wasn't backing up. Like he was. There were moments where I saw Derevyachenko. He was pressuring Golovkin. He was making him pull back. Okay, you can call it defense, but he's forcing Golovkin to do that shit, man.
I saw a lot of
his head snapping back. I mean, round 10, man. I rewatched round 10. Golovkin's face was getting snapped back, man. Like I could, anyways.
Round 10 is actually the round where I think Derevyachenko spent. I think that was his last hurrah, because if you take a look at the 11th, okay, he put up a good fight in the 11th, but the 12th round, really, when you talk about swing rounds, he was doing a lot of holding in that round. In fact, he was doing a lot of holding throughout the whole fight. But I think the smoking gun, for those people that are crying robbery for Derevyachenko, the smoking gun is that his trainer's name is Andrew Rozier, right? Andrew or Andre? Anyway, it's not important. Rozier, in the 11th round, he was asked by the reporter during the fight, they said, how do you see the fight going? How do you see your man doing? And he said, we're a little bit behind. So if he's saying that at the 11th round, that means that in order to edge the fight, they have to absolutely win the next 2 rounds. So if he did win those 2 rounds, he's edging the fight. Therefore, he's not winning all that clearly. So that's what I'm telling you, Bucho. I think people crying robbery on both sides are a little bit...
there is no robbery. It was a close fight, man. By the way, we have fight film here. Precise.
Oh, Precise.
What's up?
How you doing, man?
I'm good. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Well, Bucho's the one hosting, so can you hear him properly?
I can.
I hear everybody, yeah? Oh, okay, gotcha.
Right, fantastic. Bucho, what are you doing, man?
What?
Yeah, because you're supposed to. Anyway, whatever.
You introduce him or something. Yeah, sorry. So, I'm reading the fucking comments here. Everybody's going ape shit, man.
All right,
as usual.
Well, Precise, we didn't get. I mean, I saw your video. Everybody, check out Precise's video on his boxing channel, Fight Film, where the 30-minute one is. I think it was the first one you did on the fight. And can you just give us a synopsis of your opinions on the fight for those of people out there who haven't seen the video?
I think if you ignore all the bullshit that Derevyachenko was allowed to get away with, all the fouls, then I could see the fight going either way. I'd still give it to Golovkin personally, but I mean, sometimes I watch the fight, and I watched it plenty of times, and the round that I just gave to Golovkin on a previous watch, I'm giving to Derevyachenko, right? Ignoring all the dirty tactics. Now, if you want to do that, then that's fine, but I don't know how you do that, how you ignore the fact that the referee was completely and utterly corrupt and Derevyachenko was cheating, committing hundreds of fouls. I don't know how you ignore all that and then cry injustice at the same time. That's very hypocritical in my opinion. So if this was MMA, then Derevyachenko won the fight hands down, right? But it's not MMA. And I don't think you can even land rabbit punches or nut shots in MMA, so forget about it. If it's a bar brawl, then yeah, no, he didn't win because he got fucked up. So it's like, it was a very close competitive fight where one guy was more or less following the rules of boxing and the other guy was allowed to do whatever the fuck he wanted. I think the judges gave the right man his respect and gave the win to the correct. I think it would have been a travesty basically if they gave the fight to the Ukrainian version of Andre Ward. I think his performance was despicable. I think he should be ashamed of himself, and I think anybody supporting someone like Derevyachenko shouldn't really talk about injustice or cry robbery or do any of that, because I mean, come on, man. Are there rules? Are there not rules? Like, what are we talking about here, right? Don't be a hypocrite, basically, is what I'm saying. However, it was a very close competitive fight, no matter how you slice it.
Well, I see McGregor's got his mic turned on. McGregor, you want to say something?
Oh, I'm back. No, I'm just gonna watch.
Your mic's all
based on the rules of boxing, anyway. Because he's pointing out those things, but he's not pointing out some of the things that's happening with Golovkin. Like, he'll just point out that Sergey did an illegal tackle, not pointing out that Sergey actually fell over his right foot. He just says it's an illegal tackle, and then Golovkin catches him with a right punch. But with Sergey's illegal maneuver, stumbles happen in boxing. He didn't actually go to tackle; he stumbled over his right foot. That was one. But I'm gonna go through each one. I'll mute myself. I want to go through each one and give bullet points.
Well, but you're giving the benefit of the doubt.
Precise, and you know that. So I'm gonna do it on air. Give me a minute.
But you're giving the benefit of the doubt to the guy who pushed Golovkin around all fight. Literally, just grabbed him and pushed.
You're giving the benefit of the doubt to the guy who also bent his elbow down on the other guy's neck 7 times in the fight.
Well, I mean, okay, fine.
Which isn't in your video for some reason. Why?
Are you mad, bro?
No, I just want to know why.
Why are you so emotional? Why are you so emotional, huh? Look,
I mean,
I wanna say something. I'm not gonna address you, McGregor, because you're a toxic person, and I'm not really interested in addressing you. I'll say this much though. When I came on the show after the fight, on the shit show, should I say? And I love this show, man. This is the best.
We agree.
This is the best show, like boxing show, in YouTube, in my opinion. But when I come on that show, if it's not Stu, and by the way, I don't know what's wrong with him. I hope he's all right anyway. But if it's not Stu, I guess it's now McGregor who's going to try to curate the show and try to influence everybody's opinion. This whole idea that, like, I come on the show, I don't give a fuck about what anybody says, right? My opinion over everybody else's. And if you disagree with me, you're a bad person, you're a fanboy, you're this, you're that. I mean, come on, man. Like, I think the reason why we come to a boxing panel is to hear other people's opinions. I know it's a figure of speech. Like, I don't give a fuck what anybody says, and I've used it myself. But if I truly did, I wouldn't come on the show and talk to other boxing fans to hear their opinion, right? But to, like, create this this kind of an environment where if you have a different opinion than most of us on here, like you're just a fanboy and you're going to get attacked. I thought that was very toxic and hostile, and I just didn't think that was right. And I'm kind of getting this vibe right now. I don't feel the need to justify how I make my videos or why I make them the way I make them to anybody. If you don't like them, if you disagree with them, I'm not worried about it. You're entitled to your opinion. Like, I respect your opinion. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say, oh, you're a fanboy or you're this, you're that. I'm too fucking old for, like, this little petty bullshit. Basically is what I'm saying. So, someone else.
Yeah, well, we all, I mean...
Yo, what's up, guys?
What's up, Apologies? This is just an opinion show. There's nothing personal. No, we're not calling anybody biased or fanboys. And if you are, then you're on the wrong fucking channel. And Gonzalo in the chat, thank you for the contribution. He says... Triple G was backing up too much, allowing Derevyachenko to bound forward with flashy combinations that can be attributed to his new trainer. Okay.
Well, that's the basic gestalt, really. If you think about it, like we talk about clean. Oh, by the way, Butch, I'm sorry. Did I interrupt you?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mentioned that before. Clean and effective punching. So. This is why this fight, in my opinion, was difficult to score, because of the fact that Triple G is the harder puncher. You know that even if Derevyachenko's blocking those shots, they're doing damage or shaking his head up. But then at the same time, Derevyachenko's snapping Golovkin's head back, and not all of those low blows were low. I mean, some of them were legitimately good body shots, like the way, there were two in particular that had Golovkin puffing. So it was a very, very close fight. And it's interesting, the parallels that we saw from this fight to the one before in Porter Spence, where both underdogs performed better than expected. There were low blows in that fight as well. The knockdown in each fight ended up being the difference for a lot of people. So and at the end, of course, everybody, some people said that it was a robbery. But like I said, the smoking gun. But like I said, the smoking gun. Derevyachenko's trainer said during the 11th round that it was a close fight. I mean, that they were losing by a little bit. He felt that they were behind by a little bit. So if he's saying that it's close by the 11th round, then at the end, still going to remain close. You know what I mean? So I don't see the robbery.
I'll ask one question.
Please.
Yeah.
You guys think if Derevyachenko fought an A side, a big A side like Canelo or UFC fighter, he would have got away with his illegal tactics?
Any
Of
given
course
night,
not.
judges.
Exactly. He would have got disqualified or points taken away. That's what I'm pointing out.
I mean, my thing is this, like, how do you warn a guy 12 times for the same transgression and not even once, like, sternly or even take a point? How do you just, like, what's the point of warning him? Keep your punches up. Keep them up. 12 times he warned them. And then he warned them a whole bunch of other times for something else. And, like, look, yeah, it's a fight. Fouls are going to happen. I get that. Did Golovkin hit him behind the head? Sure. Did some of Golovkin punches stray low? Maybe one or two. You know what I mean? Did he push him off here and there? Yeah. But I mean, if you look at the totality of the fouls and who was actually allowed to foul and who got stern warnings as soon as he fouled, well, then it's a no contest. Sergey was just a dirty scumbag, and Golovkin, whenever he tried to retaliate, he got warned for it. And if he was fouling, it was only to retaliate. I mean, isn't that what we always say fighters are supposed to do? If you're being fouled, well then and the referee's allowing it, well then foul him back. So he did, and the referee said no, gave him a hard warning, said referee came up to him and said, this is your second warning. Right? Meanwhile, he warned Derevyachenko 12 times for low blows, 5 or 6 times for pushing down on his head. He warned him for coming in with his head at least once. He warned him for using his arm, for using his shoulder, for using his elbow. I mean, he gave him like 30 different warnings in the fight. So to like try to imply that I'm some kind of biased, that I have some kind of a bias because I didn't point out Golovkin's fouls in the fight, but that wasn't the story of the fight. The story of the fight was Derevyachenko's fouls, and I'm sorry, I don't have the time to make a fucking hour-long video breaking every single aspect of the fight, but if you want to do it, go right ahead. But I'm sorry, I don't mean to get all fucking emotional and shit. My bad.
Can I ask you a question? Are you mad?
No, I'm excited. I'm passionate. I'm not mad, dude. You're cool, bro. I don't have a problem with you whatsoever. Like, and if I do, it's within the confines of the show. It's banter, man. It ain't nothing personal, man. Don't worry about it.
Greg,
It's
I'm
not
not
for me
mad.
either. It's just for
Rivera.
me. Like, I didn't assume biasness. I wanted to know just why certain other things weren't shown. Because a fight isn't just like one story, one side. That's where a bias would come in. Two sides to every story.
What?
McGregor,
But the
fastest.
reason.
Oh,
Go
go ahead.
go ahead. Apologies.
No, you go ahead first. He asked you to do it.
Well, I mean, the reason why I didn't show Golovkin's fouls. I mean, I did. Not all of them, obviously. I didn't show all of Derevyachenko's fouls. It's because he kept his fouling to a minimal. And like I said, the story of the fight, insofar as dirty tactics, was Derevyachenko's dirty tactics, which were 100 times worse than what Golovkin was doing. And he initiated all the dirty tactics. And on top of that, he got away with that. It would have only muddled the message I'm trying to portray, to say that, oh well, and then Golovkin fouled, because it's like this: if Derevyachenko committed 200 fouls, and I bet you I could find that many, and Golovkin committed 20, well then if I showed you 50 fouls of Derevyachenko and 2 of Golovkin, then I gave you a pretty accurate portrayal of the fight. I really did, you know what I mean? But you'd have to watch the fight and pay attention to specifically what it is I'm trying to say in order to see that for yourself. So the reason why you don't see a lot of Golovkin shit, well, with the question you got to ask yourself is, how much of Derevyachenko shit are you not seeing?
Hey,
That's the whole thing.
Good explanation. And you know who you attracted? Your good old friend Hamed, who's in the chat.
Oh no.
See, these people are showing up now. Oh my god. After
But you don't matter precise. Didn't that happen like a year ago?
Oh, this guy. Get the fuck out of here, Hamed. Fucking weirdo.
All right, but let's stay on subject here for a little bit, because with the Derevyachenko thing, I think both guys were being dirty. That doesn't excuse another fighter's behavior. But at the end of the day, we're left with what we had. We had a referee warning both guys, not doing really anything, not taking a point away, essentially letting them fight for most of the fight. And so all we can focus on are the clean punches and the action that we can score. Okay, and like I said, this whole thing about Golovkin and hitting harder is true, and Derevyachenko landing the clean punches is true as well. But the problem now is then, I mean, because we can debate this whole thing about who actually won the fight, but what's next for Golovkin though? That's the big question, because he's looked vulnerable now. 3 fights in a row against Canelo in the rematch. He took a lot of punishment, took some punishment before stopping rolls. And now this fight, but like I was telling Bucho, I guarantee you the guy's not moving today or 2 days after the fight, because the type of shots he ate where they snap your head back, those really affect your spinal column, and it just fucks up.
At least you can see his dick when he's pissing, though.
Oh,
yeah, he's not swelled up like that. But yeah, Golovkin, sometimes he takes like those shots on the forehead, right? Like you look at when he was fighting Monroe and all those guys. But yeah, like you said, Mr. B, in this fight, his head was snapping back sometimes. Like it's
okay, but can I counter that? It was snapping, and Sergey landed a lot of good punches, no doubt about it. More so to the body than the head. But the reason why Golovkin's head snapped like that is because a lot of Sergey's punches were pushed. He would jump into his punches and he would literally push his head back with the punch. That's why there was no impact. Even though he looked like he was landing cleanly, and he was, Golovkin's face wasn't busted up, and the guy busts up fairly easily, as we've seen in the past. It's because, his punches were arm punches. He was, not all of them, don't get excited, people, not all of them, but a lot of them were arm punches. He didn't land with the knuckles, they weren't concussive shots. They didn't have much they did have an effect, but they didn't do much damage except for, some shots to the body. So, again, if you have Derevyachenko winning the fight, that's fine. But, the judges gave it to Golovkin, so,
yeah,
it
is what it is.
But that's what I'm saying then. So based on the fact, and listen, the reason why I'm not screaming robbery is because I wasn't surprised. Well, actually, I was a little bit surprised at how close it was because I thought Derevyachenko was going to be competitive. I mean, the guy's built like a shit brick house, even against a guy like Golovkin, who's a strong dude. But so that's why I'm not surprised that it was a close fight because we talked about it during the build-up to the fight that it was going to be a competitive fight. But so now the question then that begs the question: where does Golovkin go from here? Because, like I said, he's been looking a little bit less dominant than we're used to. Definitely slowing
They're
down.
gonna feed. They're gonna feed into the lions. Like now, everyone wants to fight him. Now everyone sees that he's slowing down. He's probably gonna fight like
Yeah, but
I know Callum Smith, Charlo, or Canelo 3.
Charlo.
Someone to build his name off. Yeah, I think. I mean, if you get the right ref and right choices, Charlo will get win over Triple G. So they'll feed into someone younger, and then that'll be the end of Triple G.
It might be Billy Joe Saunders at 168 or
Probably.
Callum Smith. I don't think they'll put him in with Callum Smith just yet. But he struggles at the weight. I think that's pretty certain. I don't like this whole flu thing. I don't know if I buy that whole thing. I mean, this is the third time he said the flu already. It's like, come on, man, really? It's hard for me to believe that. I think he struggles at the weight. You know what I mean? And if that's the case, it would explain why not that hard of a puncher was able to hit him to the body, like visibly. I think anybody would have been hurt with that shot, but it's not something we're used to seeing with Golovkin. You know what I mean? And he took a lot of body punches from Jacobs, Canelo, and we've never really seen him react like that.
So, do you think that his punch resistance has diminished because he's struggling to make weight?
Basically, yeah. And maybe he was sick, but I don't know. I find that hard to believe. But definitely, he missed that second day weigh-in. Just barely, but he did. He usually would come in like a couple pounds under, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, I mean, these older guys, it becomes more and more difficult to make the weight for, a decade now? He's definitely struggling at the weight. He's still, he still legitimately beat top 5, middleweight who gave Jacobs a hard fight, and was it not for that knockdown, he could have won that fight, you know what I mean? Or maybe gotten a draw. And Golovkin can still beat anybody in the middleweight division, including Canelo. I'm not sure he'd be the favorite against too many of these guys, but he's, at this point in time, Golovkin at about, I would say, 60% of what he was in his prime, is finally on the level of the rest of the guys in the division. Not the best necessarily, but he'll win and or lose just as many fights against all the top level guys as someone like Andre, as someone like Canelo, as someone, I think he's in the mix finally. So good for boxing.
But now the question is though, whoever faces him, they think it's easy pickings. They're gonna have to do what Derevyachenko did, which is absorb Triple G's bombs and just throw a heck of a lot of shots. Canelo, that's not his game. His game is 2-3 shots and then go on the defensive and make you wear down a little bit. 2-3 more shots, quick, explosive. But he's not the volume puncher that Derevyachenko is. Neither is Jermell Charlo. Neither is Billy Joe Saunders. I mean, he can throw a lot of jabs and he doesn't throw everything with full force, but you need to still keep Golovkin honest. And this was an older man who was backing up a lot also Derevyachenko. And Derevyachenko would have to throw like about 5-6 shots and then clinch because he couldn't deal with Golovkin. And just one last point, because I know I'm talking too much, but in the second Canelo fight, remember when Canelo was trying to get that knockout? He was trying to Triple G down. And at some point, his trainers told him, listen, you need to stop trying to knock him out. It ain't going to happen. And so he slowed down a little bit. So that's the type Golovkin is a cube of ice. This guy's an iceberg. You can't stop him, even at 37 years old. It's going to take a lot of punishment to fucking take him out.
People are overrating Sergey's performance, man. What I saw in that fight was a big fucking bear for the most part, right? Being annoyed by a swarm of fucking mosquitoes and like getting out of there because he was uncomfortable, basically. What the difference between Derevyachenko and Rose was first and foremost dirty tactics, and like you said, he had a follow up. Whereas Rose would attack and land some clean shots, he stopped Golovkin's head back too, right? I mean, like he had good moments, but then he would stop, he would back up, and he gave Golovkin time to work, and that was his demise. What Derevyachenko did was either clinch or step around Golovkin laterally, and I gotta give him credit for his footwork because it was exceptional. But I've said it in the past many times that all these Ukrainians fight the same way. You know, he basically kept Golovkin busy. He outworked him, and he was more than damaging, even though he did damage him to the body once. But more than damaging, he was annoying, and he didn't give Golovkin any room to breathe. And he was strong enough to be able to take Golovkin's punches and not go to sleep. And he compromised Golovkin with numerous low blows. That's going to drain a fighter. He compromised Golovkin with very hard, vicious headbutts, even cutting his cheek with one of them. He compromised Golovkin with constant rabbit punching. I mean, pushing, you know, shoving, clinching. Golovkin, he's not used to that kind of a fight, right? Like, they never taught him how to deal with an Andre Ward kind of a type, with the Jeff Horn. We have an all-time great in Manny Pacquiao not knowing how to deal with Jeff Horn. Why? Because these guys are honest. They're boxers. They're pure boxers. They're not dirty scumbags like Derevyachenko, Ward, or Jeff Horn.
Wait, I got a question. Derevyachenko, have we? I missed the headbutts. I'd have to watch that. I don't know if you included them in your subsequent follow-up videos, but had he ever shown a history of being that dirty against Jacobs or against Tyranno Johnson or anybody else?
No. You know, I said in the past that when he fought Jacobs, that was a setup fight, basically. They weren't going to train Derevyachenko to maul Jacobs in the same way, to headbutt him, to low blow him, because Jacobs was their guy, right? They're teammates, they have the same trainer, right? So they weren't going to give Derevyachenko all the slick American fighter secrets, obviously. Something that Golovkin has never really had to deal with, dirty tactics. But because now he was fighting Golovkin in a fight where he was the underdog and he couldn't beat him legitimately, obviously. You know, they pulled out all the stops and made him, you know, they taught him how to do these things. I mean, the classic, like, low blow headbutt thing that Bernard Hopkins, Andre Ward, I mean, Errol Spence Jr., all these slick American fighters, he had, like, all the classic moves that they don't... Papachenko didn't teach him that shit. You know what I mean? They pulled that out for the Golovkin fight. Now, to be fair, Sergey was always a slapper, and he will forever remain a slapper. That's just what he does. He doesn't turn his punches over, and he doesn't know how to punch. It is what it is. Some punches are really nice, but his hooks, garbage. Like, laughable garbage. Get mad.
Well, I can understand if you want to say that the low blows debilitated Triple G. I can understand that, and the hooks, yeah, Derevyachenko is a bit of a slapper with those hooks, but those straight shots were landing. Now, can we make an argument that they wouldn't have landed had he not straight low a little bit? Yeah, maybe, but clean punches are clean punches. We can't argue that one way or the other definitively. So I saw Derevyachenko landing a lot, man. I mean, to me that counts. Clean punching counts.
Yeah, but like, for example, we're not the judges, we're not the referee, obviously, right? But we feel entitled to judge fights, yeah? Like, this is my scorecard. We disrespect, if we feel like it, we disrespect the scorecard of the judges. Well, if that's the case, then why can't I be the referee? If I can be the judge, why can't I be a referee? Why can't I take points from Sergey Derevyachenko? Why can't I disqualify him, right? I mean, if I could have my own scorecard, even though I don't have any credentials or any authority, but somehow all of us are entitled to present our scorecards, well, I had Golovkin winning that fight by disqualification. So what's your argument against that, you know? And look, I'm not saying that, like, you know, I'm not saying you specifically, BDA, but, like, you know, if I say that, what can you say to me in return, basically? Like, what do you say? If you get to question the referees or the judges, why can't I question the referee? If you get to be the judge, why can't I be the referee? You know what I mean?
Well, in that sense, I would have to say that if you would have to prove definitively, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that the rules were broken to an extent where you can actually disqualify the fighter. You know what I would try? I tried to do. I tried to do a video on Spence Porter and count the low blows because I told people that I counted at least 40 low blows. And then as I was trying to piece together the video, even if it was in high definition, if I paused, it was kind of hard to see the low blows. I mean, you could when I saw it in motion, I could see it, but if I tried to stop and pause it, for some reason it was much more difficult. So sometimes it is difficult to count the amount of low blows. How I mean, for example, when Spence was hitting Porter, it was right on the dick. In this instance, I didn't really see punches on the dick. How did you see them? Did you see them?
There were few, not many. He had maybe like 3 right on the dick. I mean, he hit him on the butt cheek once. He was mostly targeting the hip and like right below the belt where you could get away kind of with it. But still, even still, Harvey Dock, who I think it's hard to argue, you know, against the fact that he was for Sergey in this fight, gave him a lot of breaks. Even Harvey Dock warned him 12 times. I mean, come on. You warn a guy once, then you give him a second warning, and then on the third warning, you take a point. Every warning after that is another point. So how did he not get to you know what I mean? Like the rules of boxing were not followed. Basically, even if you want to give him 3 warnings before each point you take, he still should have been disqualified according to Harvey Dock. He didn't do his job. You can't just keep warning a fighter for the same infraction and not take points away. And that's just one infraction. He warned them multiple times for other things as well. So, go ahead.
Well, that brings up an interesting question because I'm trying to think here as well of other cases where you can clearly see that something should have been done in regards with or in contingency with following the rules of boxing. For example, Mayweather versus Judah. Judah won. I gave him the first 4 rounds of that fight. Plus, remember, he clearly dropped Mayweather, but for some reason, Richard Steele missed that one. So he should have had 5 rounds in there. And then if you have the swing round after the whole melee, I think it was the 10th round or 11th. Those types of rounds were very close afterwards. I guess you could give Zab Judah the fight. So I mean, it's an interesting point that you're bringing in regards to why can't we criticize the referee and put ourselves in the place of the referee as well? Because it's interesting also that in the Spence Porter fight, what's his name? Jack Reese didn't follow at all. No points deducted for those low blows, which numbered. If I want to be generous, I'll cut the 40 low blows into half and I'll say 20. A lot of them right on the dick. No point taken, no disqualification. So if this were a court of law, you could make the argument, hey, listen, those types of shots affected one fighter. What does anybody else think about that?
I guess we will never know.
But then should we even be having this conversation?
Well, I mean, if there were multiple low blows and, then obviously the fight has to be stopped, right? Because although it's up to the discretion of the referee, right? But if you put yourself in the referee's position, multiple low blows likely would lead to a disqualification, right? Fucking Golada style. So in that sense, yeah. Now to determine how much damage some illegal shots had, I have no fucking idea, man. I can only speculate.
Well, but okay, even if you don't want to take points, you don't think Golovkin, I'm not saying you, Bucho, but like the referee, you don't think Golovkin deserved some time to recover? Like he didn't get any breaks. He was, like, if you look at it unbiasedly and tell it like it is, the referee encouraged Sergey Derevyachenko to low blow Golovkin. He literally encouraged him. He didn't do anything to dissuade him. There's no, like, being neutral. You're a fucking referee. You're not supposed to be neutral where the rules are broken. Either you enforce the rules or you don't. And he didn't enforce the rules. So he essentially encouraged Sergey to fight dirty. He encouraged him. Like, I mean, look, anyone who wants to argue with me, I'll just say, look, the referee or the judges gave the fight to Golovkin, so what are you complaining about, right? And then they'll start talking about what's fair, what's unfair, justice, injustice. They're going to start talking about the rules, blah, 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 right? Well, then my comeback to that is, well, okay, you want to talk rules? You can't win that argument either. So people need to, like, be honest with themselves. I think they need to watch the fight again if they haven't yet. Do away with all the preconceived notions. Try not to score based on expectations. And just be honest with yourself. Like, if you don't think Derevyachenko got a fair shake, well, flip that argument and ask yourself if Golovkin got a fair shake. And if neither guy got a fair shake, well, then it was an even playing field, right? Who came away the winner? Golovkin. What's the problem? I don't understand.
Well, I guess we'd have to go back in time. I mean, try to find something out and see whether somebody really deserved to get disqualified. At the end of the day, all we can do, like you said, is what happened happened. Nobody got disqualified. Nobody got a point taken away. So let's look at the action in the ring. It was a close fight. Just to recapitulate then, Precise, you wouldn't have a problem with anybody, just based on the clean punching that both guys did. You wouldn't have a problem with Derevyachenko getting the nod in the score.
No, not at all. I mean, go ahead, Apology.
Oh yeah, I would. I only gave Derevyachenko 3 rounds.
Three rounds?
Just because I didn't count the slap that he landed on Golovkin, and Golovkin would counter every time Derevyachenko would land, even with his knuckle. They were pushing punches, and Golovkin will hit him with like a jab, one jab that was hard with the knuckle, and I would score that instead of all Derevyachenko's slaps and finishing punches.
Okay. All right.
That was like, I hate using that phrase, but this was the story of the fight. Derevyachenko would have good combinations. I don't know how to describe it any other way. Derevyachenko would have good combinations, but most of them were slaps and had no power on it, while Golovkin would put his power onto his own punches. And I gave Golovkin credit for that.
Apology is using the term story of the fight. Next thing you know, he's going to be an Andrew Ward fan. You're going to be riding his dick in the next couple of episodes. Yeah, fuck. But listen, the thing about those clean punching and hitting with the knuckles is, again, we're stretching it a little bit with that one because we don't know. We're not feeling the shots there. And a marker for punching power would be the facial damage, which Derevyachenko certainly had. But then again, some people...
Yeah, I think you're... I think Mr. BDA caught off.
For me to determine whether Golovkin really was hitting with the knuckles and whether, even if he was, whether that makes a difference. Because I guarantee you, Golovkin was feeling Derevyachenko's shots.
But shouldn't we still discount them, even though they're power shots? If they're not landing with
I mean,
the
nut
knuckles,
shots.
it's still legal.
Nut shots are very hurtful, right? But they're not legal, so why are we scoring them, right?
Exactly.
Slaps are very hard and they could damage you, definitely, but they're not legal. So rabbit punches are not. Anything behind the ear is a rabbit punch. People don't seem to know this, but anything behind the ear, because commentators will say, "Oh, he hit him right on that spot behind the ear where fighters get hurt." Well, why did they get hurt there? Because it's a very fucking fragile spot for whatever reason, and that's why it's illegal. Because you could kill somebody if you hit him enough back there. You know what I mean? So this. Yeah, I'm not saying that slaps don't hurt. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that they're not scoring blows. You know what I mean? And the reason why Derevyachenko was busted up and Golovkin wasn't is because one guy was landing clean and effective punches, and the other guy less so. He landed some, but not as many. And if we're going to talk about Golovkin being hurt, yeah, that was a huge story, definitely, because I don't think we've ever seen that before. No doubt about it. But Derevyachenko was hurt many times in that fight, especially to the body. Why was he holding after Golovkin? Why was he holding after Golovkin landed? Like, and just listen to these shots. With Derevyachenko, it's pat, pat, pat. With Golovkin, it's boom, boom. You know, I mean, that's like, it was clear as day who was the more effective puncher. Not in every round, but in enough rounds to give Golovkin a win. Sometimes I watch that fight and I give Golovkin 8 rounds. Sometimes I watch it and I give Derevyachenko 7. It was that kind of a fight. It was difficult to score.
Absolutely, because and you know, you guys brought the point about slaps versus clean knuckle shots, and it's an age-old debate also in regards to, you know, if you're hitting a guy not exactly on the chin, but you're hitting him on the head, on the forehead, on the face, or, you know, sometimes even shoulders, you know, on the shoulder, and you're trying to make the fight with a lot of volume and not landing as cleanly as you would like, but you're still pushing the fight, does that count as some form of scoring? Because I remember the Jermaine Taylor Bernard Hopkins fight, the both fights actually. Hopkins was playing defense a lot, clinching a lot, pot shotting every now and then, really landing that cleaner shots, but they were far and few in between. Whereas Jermaine Taylor was working that jab, not always landing clean, but letting his hands go, having the flashier shots, certainly throwing more shots, and that certainly seemed to sway the judges. The Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. Mayweather fought in the old Hopkins style, which is pot shot here, clinch here, move a lot, get out of the way, a lot of stalling, and the judges liked his way of fighting. So sometimes it works both ways. It depends on what the judges like. Depends also what type of incentives they got outside of the ring, if you know what I mean. So I guess it comes down. If you're landing 15 slaps and the other guy lands one shot, you can make an argument for liking either one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter. Shouldn't matter if the guy is still throwing illegal shots, whether it's deliberate or not. Should it still matter?
I say we should DQ all of Joe Kazagi's fights, bro. We should just go ahead and DQ all of that shit because he slaps all the time.
Well,
What's his name? Daniel Jacobs. All his fights.
Before we go crazy here, I know shit's gonna go crazy right now. Let me just say on Biased Boxing, Bay Area Boxing, thank you for the contribution. He says Meldrick Taylor hit Chavez with a lot of low blows. He wants to revisit that fight. Jesus Christ! All right.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, Cal's on to Boxing Styles.
Yes, go ahead.
Well, Joe Kasagi fought Bernard Hopkins and Roy Jones, who are the fighters. So if you're gonna disqualify anyone, disqualify them as well. And then what do you have, a double GQ?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that overall his fights, he threw punches like that, not just.
Yeah, so did a lot of fighters. So we're gonna disqualify Roy Jones, Bernard Hopkins.
Yeah, listen. I don't.
Why
judge
not?
fights
That's against the rules.
Yeah, I'm saying that.
You can't ignore the rules.
I'm saying I don't judge fights off of slap punches or rabbit punches. I judge it when the knuckles touch or semi-touch. If the shot is on the belt line, just above the belt line, that's cool with me. As long as it's fucking not below the belt line. Make it obvious like Andre Ward. Like make it obvious like what's that? Andrew Golate. Whatever his fucking name is. I keep forgetting constantly. Yeah, that son of a bitch fucking pull his name. Yeah, whatever his name. Him. Yeah, who else? Errol Spence is another one. I don't judge those punches, bro. I don't make my decisions off of those punches. I also don't judge the lacing. Lacing is illegal on my side neither. I don't consider that as a punch. If you like punch and you use your wrist, kind of, I don't count those as punches, bro. That doesn't work. I count off of what I see with the knuckles actually landing and backing the motherfucker up.
So you agree with my scorecard then? So you agree with my scorecard?
No, I'm gonna this is what I'm gonna do, bro. Because this fight is having a lot of dispute about he said, she said. I'm gonna try to do this because I've never done this. I'm gonna put this shit on slow-mo, like 0.5. Once I download it, I'm doing it right now. Maybe not today and do the video, maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after tomorrow. I'm gonna put it on slow-mo and I'm gonna commentate exactly what I see in every fucking round. The rounds that I gave Derevyachenko. I'm gonna try not to get copyrighted. Yeah, I'm gonna try not to get copyrighted.
Go slow-mo. It's not hard to see.
Slow-mo is the best way to go, bro. That's how you know it.
But judges don't get that benefit of the doubt.
See, like if I didn't put it in slow-mo.
I mean, you can, but I'm just telling you what's the style.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Right,
I know what you're saying. I got the picture. Can I say this one thing, Bucho, and that's it. I'm gonna shut up and.
All right, go ahead.
I need to put it on slow-mo because some punches. I'll give you an example. The one with Errol Spence on the second round where he like backed up and it looked like Porter actually hit him, but he didn't. He dodged that punch from Porter. So a lot of people thought he wobbled. He got wobbled. Oh shit, he got wobbled. You gotta put certain things like that. Obviously, they slow replayed that during rounds, and they actually saw that that wasn't the case. But there are other cases that they can't slow every fucking part of the fight down for you to watch. So that's why slow-mo is the best mo. You know what I mean? So you got to do it that way.
All right. Well, hopefully you can upload the video because I'm pretty sure they're gonna take it down. But maybe if you in slow motion, it won't get detected. I don't know how the hell that works, but good luck.
You gotta slow mo, crop it, and then reverse it too. Like you gotta do all this shit. Man.
Oh man, yeah. Reverse
It's
it,
how
man.
it
Mirror. 585. You're on the air. 585.
How you guys doing? This is Spence.
Yes. Yeah, welcome, Vince. What's on your mind?
Yes. How you doing, Mr. Bucho? What's on my mind is Triple L losing, and of course, Derevyachenko got robbed. I'm pretty upset about this.
Okay.
Can we elaborate, please?
Well, we did the whole show. I thought it was a close fight. Precise thinks that it would have been wrong to give it to Derevyachenko, but he was competitive. That's what we've been saying, I think. I hope I got it right.
Yep.
I only gave Derevyachenko 3 rounds. What's your response to that, Vinny Mac?
We did. Yes, we. How you doing, Mr. Recognize? Also, we did see.
Yes. How you doing? How you doing?
Get hurt
I missed you.
by Derevyachenko's body shot. Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So.
And then all of a sudden, this referee comes out of nowhere. I don't know what he was thinking, or maybe Eddie Hearn paid him. Maybe because he does have some deep pockets. Let's be honest, guys. Okay.
Can I respond to that when you're done? When you're done, go ahead.
Yes, Triple G looked like he was going to take a poop. Okay, in the ring, and then all of a sudden the referee just jumps in, and I'm screaming at the television, "What in the hell are you doing?" Okay, this is complete. This is absurd, guys. I got robbed for this one, and I'm pretty mad right now.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if you watch the fight carefully and you listen to what you're asking what the referee was thinking. He told you what he was thinking. He told Derevyachenko what he was thinking. He said, keep them up. He jumped in and split them. Why? Because after Derevyachenko landed that legal liver body shot that had Golovkin pooping his pants, he stepped to him and he landed a right hand below the belt. That's why Harvey Dock stepped in and stopped the action. Now, I'm sure you've also noticed, Vinny Mac, I forget which round it was, but somewhere toward the end of the fight, in the second half of the fight, where Golovkin hurt Derevyachenko, his hands dropped, and Harvey Dock jumped in 2 seconds before the bell and stopped the round. I'm sure you've noticed that too, right?
I'll scream at the TV.
First of all, how you doing?
I saw this video. Wait, can I say something about this shit?
Yes, go ahead.
About that. Listen.
Yes, go ahead.
That fifth round, the fifth round where he hurt Golovkin and the ref jumped in. Okay, but there's an 8th round. I also saw this, but Precise put it on his video, but I didn't elaborate on that part. I didn't explain that part. He jumped in also on that shit where Triple G hurt Derevyachenko, but the thing is, Derevyachenko wasn't like as fucked up as Triple G was in that 5th round with that liver shot. The liver shot is a lot worse than the situation that he was in 2 seconds into the ending of the fucking round. You know,
right?
The thing is, listen. I'm gonna finish and then you can say whatever you want. The thing is though, when the ref jumped in, as soon as the ref jumped in, Derevyachenko lowered his fucking guard. As soon as he lowered that guard, that fucking left hook came in. But that wasn't going to be good enough to stop Derevyachenko automatically. There's only 2 seconds onto the clock. He walked perfectly normal to his corner. If he were like wobbling and shit and doing all this, stanky leg shit, I would say yes. I would say, yeah, he was seriously hurt. But that wasn't the case.
Yeah, but the major difference.
What I'm trying to get at, let me finish precisely. What I'm trying to get at is, I think this fight, based off of that shit, I think they didn't want this fight to go anybody stopping anybody, because the bookings, I'm pretty sure there was a lot of money on both sides, probably even more on the side where Derevyachenko stopping Triple G, hypothetically speaking. There was a lot. Yeah, okay. That's a possibility. That's why the ref stepped in on both occasions to stop the fight from
Yeah,
being a
that's.
stoppage. You know what I mean?
But come on, bro. That's all speculation. We don't really know. Like, this is just a wild guess. But the major difference you're overlooking here is that Harvey Dog did the right thing when Golovkin was protecting himself after he got hurt, and he did the wrong thing by stepping in when Golovkin hurt Sergey when he wasn't protecting himself. They're very, very different situation.
I got the picture. You thought that shit was a low blow. I thought it was very close to a low blow, not exactly a low blow. He was, and
But the referee agrees with me. The referee agrees with me.
It wasn't a low blow. It was a blow to like the knee. That was a low. It was below
I
the
wouldn't say it was the
penis.
knee. I wouldn't say it was the knee.
It was clearly the knee. Or the thigh. Sorry, the thigh.
All right, guys.
See,
Vinny, okay, Vinny, one last point, so we move on because we have another phone call.
Yes.
Yes,
Mr. Bucho.
Go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Bucho. Yes, I would like to know if you're going to give me credit for this victory or not.
Wait a minute. What the fuck are you?
And
Okay,
another
hold.
thing- Sure, go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah.
what your prediction was? Where is it? Vinny Mac Derevyachenko by unanimous decision.
Yes. Correct.
I don't know if I can give you credit.
Yo, Vinny Mac, did the bookies give you credit?
Yeah, I can't. I'm
No,
sorry. I'm sorry.
that's
I
a low
can't.
blow. That's a low blow, but onto Eddie Hearn. You know what these guys were thinking, guys? They were like, well, Andy Ruiz beat Joshua unexpectedly. PBC got the win, okay? And now Derevyachenko came over here to Madison Square Garden and beat up Triple L, and he didn't want PBC to win again.
All right.
So he didn't want the belt to go to PBC.
Vinny,
That's my call. Thank you, guys.
thanks for the
Have a
call,
great
man.
night.
Call back in.
Boy, can I say something to Vinny before he
I think
goes?
he's gone.
Oh, Vinny.
Yeah.
It's Mr. BD. How you doing, baby?
How you doing? Pretty good.
Good. Listen, offer still stands. You need to come see me, man.
Okay, no problem. When I get one wrong, then I'll come see you. But that's gonna be a while.
Got every single one wrong.
It's insane. All right, Vinny, thanks for the call, man.
When you get one right, I can let you go. Until then, you need to come see me. All right.
All right. Hi,
So
Vinny.
you guys didn't give me credit. Thanks.
Oh yeah, whatever. Okay. He won by numbers.
Why would I give you credit? Derevyachenko won 3 rounds. Why would I give you credit?
Oh, God. 3 rounds. All right, hold on. Unbiased Boxing, Beira Boxing says Salido is Loma's father. Guy, man, it's you're gonna give us contributions and write that. Come on, man. All right, Taco Berenstein is saying, never heard Tom Loeffler or Banks complain about low blows, but I did hear Golovkin admit he did very poorly. Well,
Hey, what did you say after the fight? I didn't get to hear it.
The body language.
Jesus.
When you look at the body language, Triple G didn't like what fucking what's
Yes.
his name?
I asked a question.
Danny Jacobs. Danny Jacobs.
I asked a question. I asked a goddamn question. Can I ask one goddamn question to get an answer?
Question?
Go ahead.
What was the question? Question was, what did Golovkin say after the fight?
He said he did poorly.
Exactly.
What, do you want quote from quote? Or
But what?
No, I just
That's
want the
relative.
gist of it.
That could be relative. It's relative to past performances. You know what I mean? Like maybe he was.
Yeah, definitely.
He's maybe he thought, you know what, I could have put more pressure and knocked him out. I don't know, man.
Well,
It
I tell you what, he did well enough to get the Canelo fans all riled up that he managed to get the victory. So
people were booing after the fight. Like that's
I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
of course, like Triple G has. Go ahead.
That's the first time I've seen that with Triple G getting booed. That Danny Jacobs fight, that wasn't close. That Danny Jacobs fight, he was beating the shit out of Danny Jacobs. I only gave Danny maybe 4 maximum on that fucking fight. This fight, I gave him 4. I gave Triple G 4 rounds, and plus the knockdown, it's a 7-5. That's the way I looked at it.
Yeah.
The dirty,
You drunk, bro.
7-5 for fucking Derevyachenko. That is.
You drunk, bro.
There's nothing to do with it. Hey, just to not too long ago, wasn't fucking Fight Film the guy that just said that he watched it once, he gave it to Triple G, he watched it another time.
Yeah, I'm not Fight Film. I'm not Fight Film. I disagree with Fight
all
Film.
right, apology. I'll do a video. We'll see. We'll see
Okay,
what's a low
I
blow,
appreciate.
what's not a low
I
blow, what's a
appreciate
fucking
it.
rabbit punch, and what's not a rabbit punch.
Make sure you read the rules properly before you start.
I have to read the rules. Okay, all right.
Don't do
Like
it
I
out of
know
your car, though. Don't do it out of your car.
Hey, when the
I can't
referee,
do it on my
this
phone.
this honest question. Okay,
Yeah, but I mean, if you're editing while you're in your car, you're gonna get in a car crash.
you were
Hey,
supposed
can
to
I
be.
just say something? Can I
Nah,
just say
man, I got good reflexes, bro. That shit don't
Go
work with
ahead.
me.
We're supposed to
yeah,
talk
those,
about
those
Usyk, but
Armenian reflexes. Can I just say something about Golovkin? Because I asked the question a couple of minutes ago. Well, way back, I said, Where does Golovkin go for here?" Here's something that's might be considered a bad opinion, but I think I stand by it. I think he actually does better against Callum Smith.
You told me.
Callum Smith, than he does against a guy like Billy Joe Saunders, who's going to move a lot, very quick. Callum Smith is there to be hit with those hooks. Right
Yeah,
nowadays,
definitely.
he's always weaving
I
on
agree.
Golovkin's hook. There you go. So everybody's
He's kinda
always
stiff.
weaving on the Golovkin's hooks. He doesn't go to the body all that much.
Mhm.
Against this guy, he's
Caleb,
gonna have a big, tall target
And,
for that.
and
Yeah, he's
another thing,
stiff.
if you watch the Skoglund fight, Cal Smith was eating jabs all night long, and that's Triple G's favorite punch. So
He
definitely, he
should.
has no head movement. He's right there to be hit.
How about
Caleb Smith hits a lot harder than anybody I think fucking Triple G has faced so far in the
how
pros.
about the winner of Callum Smith, Billy Joe Saunders? Because that should be a pretty big fight in the UK. Why not fight that guy? The better out of the two, basically.
I think
That
it's
would be a
all,
good
all
one, man.
kinds of better.
That would be a very good one. Now, the other thing is Canelo now says, "Oh well, you see, I would knock this version of Triple G out right now." Does he try to go after him, win or lose against Kovalev?
Yes.
Ask him after that fight.
Hey,
That's
you know what? I was
possible, yeah.
thinking
If
about
he
that.
gets his ass handed to him by Kovalev, if he gets his ass handed to him by Kovalev, then no, probably not. If he
You
gets
know
his
what?
ass handed to him by Kovalev.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about, well, precise. I think your opinion is that Canelo's got this in the bag. They're not going to let him lose. But strange things happen in boxing, man. We've seen the A side get a load shot in his face as opposed to the other way around as planned. De La Hoya Trinidad, Pacquiao Bradley. It can happen, man, especially against a guy like Kovalev who still has something left in the tank and who can whack pretty hard.
Well,
Look, if Sergey comes to fight, that's another couple of years off Canelo's career, okay? Win, lose, or draw, if he comes to fight, Canelo ain't gonna be the same after that fight, man. Come on.
Unbiased Boxing, Beira Boxing. Thank you for the contribution. He says the Armenian guy has lost his marbles. Interesting comment.
Dude, I've lost my marbles long time ago.
He admits it.
I'm crazy as fuck.
Boxing style, what
I'm
happened to
crazy as
Vanes?
fuck.
He got arrested for domestic disturbance or something? Or domestic?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't keep track with that guy. I saw that he headbutted his fucking wife or something like that. I'm not into his life. You know what I mean?
The Armenian community, they're gossipy.
That
I'm pretty sure you've heard.
motherfucker took a dive. He was supposed to get knocked out in that fight, but he took a dive.
Oh my
Whether
god.
you like to believe it or not, he took a fucking dive. He
Did
took
his
3
wife
straight
take a
right
dive
hands.
against him? Or?
His wife wasn't even attending that fucking shit because he knew what was gonna happen. He knew that's why he didn't call his wife over. He's like, "I'm gonna take a dive, honey. You should wait home. Take a
All right.
sleep."
Take a idol.
Fighters that take dives take that shit with them to the grave, man.
Not really.
I'm just saying.
Not really. Not all the time, bro.
Not all the time.
Not all the time. No.
Birya, you were gonna say something?
I was going to ask Bucho. Bucho, did you address what we wanted to talk about in regards to the certain rules in this show?
Nope.
The drinking.
Well, I think we agreed no more drinking on the show. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
Go ahead,
no.
sir.
I mean, if somebody is not gonna drink, then I won't drink. So nobody drinks. No, nobody drinks. Yeah.
My thing is, you can drink on the show, but don't get shit faced on the show.
Well, yeah, exactly. You know.
Fucking wasted to the point where we can't understand what you're saying. You know what I mean? And let's try to keep it civilized. You know, it's like Bucho said at the earlier. It's just boxing. We're here talking boxing because it's a fun sport. It's something to distract yourselves with. It's not politics. It's not social issues. I don't understand what the problem is. Let's keep it light. Let's keep it fun. That's how this podcast started out, and hopefully that's how it's going to continue.
Exactly.
I think Gonzalo just gets drunk off of beer, man. That's a no.
Wait,
Yeah,
is
the beer don't fuck me up at all, bro. I don't know, man. Some lightweights like that, bro. So I was asking, what are you drinking?
Well, I don't know how much he's drinking though, but anyway.
Just for the record, high alcohol tolerance doesn't actually make you a man. I'm just saying.
Oh, that's
Oh,
for sure.
I'm
No,
not.
no.
you say that?
Oh, cute little cute
Makes you
stuff right
fat.
there. It's all adorable.
It
I
makes
did
you-
not
Thank you.
say that
I
does make
appreciate
you.
that. Thank you.
I did not say it makes you a man. I just said if you're drinking.
I'm just busting your balls. I'm just busting your balls.
Good man
Hey, are you
always
doing
knows his
whatever
limit.
Franco was doing to me?
Good man always knows his limitations.
Yeah.
I tell you what, though. I tell you what. I agree with Precise. I don't think high drinking tolerance makes you a man, but I tell you what does make you a man. Big cock. That's what makes
Yeah,
you a
exactly.
man. And if that makes you a man, then
Yeah, I don't know what world you're in, BDA.
you don't know what I'm what.
I don't know what world you're in, BDA. I don't think that's right.
BDA walks around with 16 inches. What are you talking about, bro?
Hey, apology. If you never, you said that you're a MGTOW, right? So you don't believe in getting late. Would you cut your cock off if you don't need it?
Oh,
well, I never said I don't believe in getting laid.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just saying,
So you're not
I
true
don't believe in
MGTOW.
like relationships. I don't believe relationships or marriage.
Oh, I love women. I love big booties, bounce that ass, you know.
Jesus, that was loud.
Sorry. I didn't know how loud it was going to be because I'm playing it because I'm not hosting the show, so
yeah.
I didn't know if we could change it. Okay, so Bucho, what do you think? I mean, I asked you earlier.
Talk about what?
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
No, I was just gonna say we can talk a little bit about the main topic, which was Usyk in the heavyweight division. But what do you want to say?
Didn't you already cover that?
A little bit, yeah. Maybe we already talked enough about it. Yeah, right.
I mean, all he can do, just real quick, all he can do is look, considering the circumstances, all he can do is look as impressive as he can. If he struggles with this guy, with the Chinese spoon, it's over.
It's a no win situation right now. Even if he knocks him out, well, who the hell is this guy, right?
Right.
What happened with the Tyrone Spong?
Well,
Sponge, whatever his
Punch.
Punch. I don't know what his name is. He's fighting this guy. What's his name? I don't know. Chaz.
Not Jizz Witherspoon. Come
on. Yeah, listen, I don't know, man. It's
Why is everyone pulling out of the fight with Usyk? That's the second guy now.
They're trying to. I don't know. Man, he's potentially a big threat, man. I mean, if you own Wilder, you own AJ, this supposedly big Fury. I mean, Usyk could come in there and spoil the parties, man.
Well, you know what, Bucho? I mentioned this briefly, man. Because usually people say, "Oh, Usyk can beat Joshua because Joshua's too slow and his stamina sucks." He can beat Wilder because his technique is awful. But most people would pick Fury against Usyk because he's big. But would you reconsider that after seeing how Tyson Fury struggled against against the Swedish guy?
Yep, definitely. 100%. Like he didn't look the same. Like he looked.
I don't think
he's lost his step.
I don't think he struggled in that fight. I think it was pretty obvious who the winner was. I think he got him like 10 rounds to 2. That cut happens, bro. Anything can cause a cut. A silly slap would fucking cause a fucking cut, bro. That shit doesn't count.
But you still getting hit. The point was he was fighting an overmatched opponent.
Was he really
getting
hit?
He was fighting an overmatched opponent. He got hit multiple times.
He got hit. Of course, you're gonna get hit, bro. What do you think? He's gonna the other guy?
No, you're not understanding my point. Not understanding my point. He fought an overmatched opponent and he got hit a lot. And he looked slow. His defenses looked horrible in that fight.
Apology.
He won clearly, but
but hold on. Now
he looked bad.
All right, but now people are saying, well, we didn't know who Wallin was, right? So that's why you call him overmatched opponent, supposedly. Well, maybe he wasn't that bad after all. You know what I mean?
All right, we'll see in this next fight.
Exactly.
Wallin got rocked multiple times. All that kept him up was his chin. He had a good chin. That's it.
Okay.
I didn't see anything special in the guy. I didn't see anything impressive with
I didn't see
Wallin.
nothing special neither in him too. He just got a good chin.
Yeah.
It
do you think
hurts.
if Wallen can do that, do you think Usyk can do that as well?
I don't think he would come head first like
I
that,
think
man. I mean, that guy
I,
was like out of fucking ideas, man. Let's be honest. He was just fucking tough. I mean,
Of
I
course,
wouldn't
but
follow his
do you
recipe,
think
right?
Usyk
Go
can
ahead.
do that at
Usyk's
high
a lot
level?
faster. A lot faster.
Yeah, he won't
I
have
have
to do
Usyk
that.
is
There's no reason why he would have to fight like that, or it doesn't make sense. Wallen was just big guy, 6 foot. How much was he, Mr. BDA?
6'5".
6'5". Man, come on, man. He looked like a big dude. He was young, ready to fight, and then that cut. I mean, I sense a little bit of panic from Fury. You know, I mean,
yeah,
he's
'cause he gets
thinking,
all right.
that
First
fucking
of all,
rematch. It's gonna go out the window. Go ahead.
he looked big for you, first of all. But the thing is, I didn't say because Gypsy Boxing Style said, "Oh, you know, he didn't struggle." Tyson Fury did. I didn't say the fight was that close. I had Tyson Fury winning clearly, but what I'm saying is there were certain things that I saw. That's why I agree with Apology in that you saw Waleed or whatever his name was do certain things that you could definitely see Usyk pulling off. Now here's the thing. Tyson Fury, he was outboxing Deontay Wilder. Okay, that's Deontay Wilder. Can he do something similar? Is he really that much of a master boxer against another master boxer? Even if the other master boxer is smaller, because if Tyson Fury stands on the outside against Usyk, I don't see Fury necessarily having the advantage just because of his size.
Hey, we have Boricua on the line.
90
I
seconds.
see
Look,
Usyk causing a lot of trouble.
Usyk,
Boricua.
BDA, Usyk. I think that
Oh,
fight's
shit.
gonna be a close fight. I
Hey
can't
guys, we
pick
have a
who would
phone
win.
call,
I
man.
think
Wait.
Boricua, are you there? I think it's Boricua.
Oh, yeah, it's
maybe
Boricua.
Usyk would.
I just wanted to get my quick thoughts on how Usyk will do a heavyweight. Now, look, what I'm concerned about is how he does with heavyweight opponents, because sparring with heavyweights and fighting with heavyweights are two different things. So that's my concern. But if he can do as well as we think he can, I think he
60
takes them
seconds.
all out.
Sorry, you got what did you say?
If Usyk is as good as we think he is, and if he's going to be as good as we think he's going to be at heavyweight, I think he takes them all out.
Okay. Do you think
Because,
that? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. If he can avoid Wilder's right hand, I think he puts him out in the late rounds with body shots. Anthony Joshua, I think you could knock him out similar in a smart. He would fight like Ruiz, but in a smarter way. But yeah, I think he puts him out a little later than Ruiz because AJ's got a glass chin. What else? Fury, that one will be a little bit competitive because of reach.
10 seconds.
I would like to see that one stylistically because I think that would be interesting. And same thing with Ruiz because Ruiz is tough as hell. But I think Usyk can edge it out with all of them.
Okay,
the first time I saw Usyk was way before I knew that I probably knew Precise's channel. I think it was a Precise presenter at the time. And the guy impressed me. It was like, wow. I'm like, this guy is going to be something special. But
Precise or about
yeah, then he's like, then Precise went to shit.
No, I was talking about Usyk. I said the first time, this was before I found out about Precise's channel, I knew about Usyk. And then Usyk came to more of a flourishing as he kept on fighting in the cruiserweight division. I was like, okay, this is something, this guy is going to be something even bigger than, it's exactly I expected. That's what I was going for. But we'll see how it goes. Let's see how he does against the top 4 guys in the heavyweight division.
All right, Boricua, last comment,
I'm very
please.
excited.
Yeah, go ahead.
What?
One
I'm
last
just saying I'm
comment.
very excited to see how he does at heavyweight.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Were you going to say something?
No, we gotta move on, man. But thanks for the call, man. Call back again next time.
Oh, yeah. Anytime.
All right, thanks,
All right,
Boricua.
God
Take
bless
care.
y'all.
All right. Hold on, guys. We have another phone call. I think it's the last one here because it's Virtuoso.
Yep.
What's up? What's on your mind?
No, I was just thinking, like, if Ruiz beats Joshua again, do you think Alexander Usyk's manager like pushes Eddie Hearn like to sign him to fight him, or does he go out? Does he take it easy and just fight like, the number 1 and 2 ranked in the WA, which I think is Trevor Bryan, I believe, and then Manuel Charr, who's like WBA world heavyweight champion. I mean,
Hmm.
it's like the low, less traveled against, okay, let's chase greatness now. I was just wondering what your thoughts on that.
Well, I think Usyk is a WBO champion. No, because he was a WBO cruiserweight champion, he can immediately get a WBO heavyweight title shot. So that's the easiest route.
But is he going to take that, though? I think he goes automatically undisputed. Maybe takes one easy fight before he jumps to undisputed with Wilder. Because the Al Heyman boys, you know what I mean? They might just make that shit happen.
I like how he said the Al Heyman boys, like they're a gang of cowboys or something.
I know.
Damn,
Them boys. Them boys.
Them Heyman boys.
Well, do you, punk?
Right. Yeah, what do you guys think? So tune-ups or just go straight for a title shot?
Straight for the title shot, man. No need for fucking... I mean, if that's what he wants, then that's what he wants. I don't think he needs it. I mean, he's a heavyweight already. There's none of this, like, getting used to the weight. Like, how? How does he get used to the weight? How do you get used to taking punches, you know, by taking punches? There's no need. I mean, all these guys at heavyweight are beatable. They're vulnerable. I mean, I was calling, not to say that just because Ruiz did it, Usyk can do it, but I said, and I think a lot of you guys thought I was crazy when I said that Usyk stops Anthony Joshua in the late rounds, because he's a fucking dynamo. He throws a ton of punches, and he'll wear most of these guys out, basically, you know. And it's like this whole idea of, you know, like we've never seen a 6'3" heavyweight fucking do damage at heavyweight. We've never seen a 6'3", 230-pound guy compete with someone who's like 6'6". Of course we have. So this whole idea of him like...
Or is he 6'4"?
6'3", man. And there's a lot of these heavyweights who actually could be cruiserweights, but they're just fat. So...
Yeah, he's a heavyweight already, man. If he feels, his team, they feel they need to like build his profile at heavyweight or get used to the weight, whatever, that's fine. I think he beats most of these guys right now anyway, if not all of them.
Virtuoso, any last comments?
No, I also wanted to, touch on the fight from between Derevyachenko and Triple G. I mean, I thought it was a real close fight. I thought, Derevyachenko edged it out based on, activity. Yeah, he did get knocked down, but that kind of look like a rabbit punch behind his head. But that's just my take on it. I'll probably have to rewatch the fight, to make sure what fouls, that precise, saw. So I'll basically just do some film study. That's it.
All right, man. Thanks for the call. Take care.
No problem. Take it easy.
All right. That's it for the phone calls, people.
Didn't you have some guy earlier saying that that Usyk had no business calling out Wilder yet?
Yeah. But it was that game.
That game. Did he say that because he hasn't fought anybody, or because he's not convinced that he can compete?
He I don't want to put words in his mouth. I remember he said like he does respect Usyk, but he has to see more of Usyk, and he still believes that Wilder is something that he's never seen before, and he's gonna beat everybody.
All right. Well, it's interesting because Usyk, I think it was McGregor who said that he presents a whole lot of problems for these low ass heavyweights. A couple of years ago when you had guys like Klitschko and Lennox Lewis, both Klitschkos by the way, Lennox Lewis and Michael Grant, Jamil McClain, some people were predicting, man, this is going to be the new age of heavyweights. All these guys that are taller than 6'4" and all that, and it's not going to be fair for everybody. This could actually prove to be a disadvantage for them now against a guy like Usyk, because when Roy Jones came up, he was what, 5'11", maybe 5'10" and a half.
Yeah,
he was never gonna be able to do anything against the Klitschkos or against Lennox Lewis. But at 6'3" and a half, Usyk, who's already shown at least in 3-4 rounders he can beat heavyweights. Very interesting, very interesting.
Yeah. The question is, if he gets hit by Wilder, a clean shot, how's he take it?
Yeah,
like a really good
but
shot.
That's a question you ask about anybody in the heavyweight division. Nobody can take a flush shot from Deontay Wilder and not go down. So it's like, that doesn't make him any different than anybody else in the division.
No, it's not that they can't go down. They probably would most likely go down.
Can he get back up like Fury?
Yeah, but he has far better defense than Fury, so why is that even like, you know,
Yeah,
what I
we're
mean?
talking
Far
about
better defense
hypothetical
than
Yeah, I
Fury.
wouldn't say far better. I say decent. I think defensively, I think Fury is a little more sound. Little more sound. Offensively, I gave it to.
All right, hold on.
Usyk.
So what we're saying here is that Usyk cannot get hit. I mean, because if he does, it's game over.
No. He can
Okay.
get
I'm not
hits.
saying that. No,
No.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that how is he going to take a shot like the one we saw that Dominic Brazil got when he lowered his
He's
arm?
not. Wilder's never gonna land that shot on
Comparing
Usyk.
exactly. You
It's
compare
not.
Sean Basil to Usyk. Come on.
Well, if he
It's
doesn't,
not
I get okay.
impossible because I just mentioned. It's not impossible because I just mentioned. I think Tyson Fury has better defense and he still got clipped.
He was
It's not
clowning
impossible
around.
for-
No, hold on,
You-
Gypsy. I
get clipped.
agree that
Yeah.
Fury has better, but if you look at the two knockdowns in that Wilder fight, Fury was clowning around.
He was clowning around, but that the knockdown he actually got, bro, that was the thing that Wilder didn't do the entire fucking fight. He took a 2-step, and then he kind of like not really jabbed, like he kind of tapped him.
And what was Fury
And
doing?
then hit him with the right, and then fucking hit him with the left.
And what was Fury doing in that instance?
He was backing up. He knew that shit was
Hands
kind of coming
down
at
or
him,
some
and he was
shit?
backing up, and he still got hit.
Yeah, his
His
hands
hands
down.
were behind his back.
Yeah, and
Which
no,
one?
but
The first knock? No. The
no, he's
first
talking about the
knockdown was
second
behind
one.
the neck.
Yeah, the
behind
second.
head.
Yeah.
We're talking about the second one.
Oh, yeah, I know. The second one, he was backing up with hands down. He had his right hand was down.
Hands down.
I mean, I'm sorry, but I don't see Usyk doing that shit, man. If he does, then he deserves to get knocked out because, come on, that's ridiculous.
He ain't gonna
And
do that.
Fury-
He could put his guard up too, but he could still get hurt. That's what I'm saying.
And
There's a
Fury
power.
still didn't get hit flush, man. He still didn't get hit flush because if he got hit flush by Wilder, he wouldn't have gotten up. There were like grazing punches that put him down. Not grazing, I'm exaggerating, but he wasn't hit flush like Brazil. Okay, like he wasn't hit flush like what's his face? Whatever. All the people that like Deontay Wilder knocked out basically. They were right there for him, right there for the right hand with their hands down, basically. As soon as somebody keeps their hands up, like Duapa, Deontay Wilder's power is not completely ineffective, but it ain't what it is when guys walk in on him with their hands down. Like, Usyk's obviously not going to do that.
Are you saying Wilder's power is overrated?
My bad. I was gonna say, what fight did Usyk get knocked down? There was a fight that he got knocked down, and I forgot which fight it was.
But Derevyachenko amateurs or something.
That wasn't amateurs from what I remember.
You talking about Hook? That wasn't a legitimate knockdown against Hook. That was like
Wilder was knocked out by a 6'1" guy, fat, chubby Romanian, 6'1", with headgear and big gloves on, knocked out.
Listen. Now he got knocked out, but that's amateurs. Is years back. You can't compare the guy from years back.
Oh, okay.
You just suck. You can't do that.
Well, we're gonna pretend like you're not a hypocrite then. No problem.
I'm not a hypocrite. I'm just being
do you guys
real.
think?
I'm being real.
So
That was a while back. You can't compare. In the Dupas fight, he hits harder than in the Dupas. Now he hits harder than what he used to do in the Dupas fight.
Does he?
Well, you're the one who brought up amateurs, not me. I'm just saying.
I didn't brought up amateurs. I think it was Apology who brought up amateurs. I said
you asked what fight Usyk got knocked down in. It was an amateur.
Don Hearn says Usyk.
I said Hook, but it was illegitimate.
I thought it was a pretty good knockdown. I thought he caught him off guard and he dropped him. I thought it was a
Did
decent
they get
knockdown.
dropped in the pros? I don't remember.
Huh?
It was the Hook fight, but it didn't look legitimate to me. I might have to go back and watch it.
Usyk got knocked down by Golovkin in the process.
Oh, it was lucky. Okay.
Well, can I say something? Can I address something in regards to what JP said about the power, about Wilder's power against Usyk? Didn't Spilka get caught before the knockout? He got caught with a couple of shots. He wasn't necessarily getting wobbled in there. So, I mean, it all depends on how you get it. I definitely think I do think Wilder has that type of special power. I said it before the Ortiz fight, and it proved to be true, where he can hit you on the forehead, grazing type shots, and he's going to hurt you. But that's the thing, though. Usyk, on paper, all he has to do is avoid getting hit with that big right hand. He can take the right hand if he's got the proper distance and whatever, and he's not going to get knocked out. I think he's got a pretty good chin. I don't know why I say that, even because he hasn't tasted Wilder's type of power, but from other fights, it seems to me like he has a decent chin. It's not an Amir Khan type chin, and also defense plays a part in there. So I think he can definitely beat Wilder. It's not like he's gonna take one shot and it's over, game over.
I'm not saying that Wilder beats him, because I'm not too sure myself. I think Usyk can outbox him.
Right.
But Wilder, if he catches him and he starts, and he's rocked and he keeps landing on him, that might be not so good for Usyk. He might get stopped.
So you give Wilder a puncher's chance, basically. You give him a puncher's chance.
Yeah, I'm giving him a puncher's chance. So that's what I'm giving Wilder. As usual, that motherfucker has a puncher's chance in every fucking fight, bro. Every single fight he's been, it's a puncher's chance.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. But like when you look, for example, if you want to look at someone similar in size and maybe style even to Usyk, you look at what was that Polish guy's name? The cruiserweight that came up to heavyweight. Anyway, it took Wilder, 9 rounds to finally land flush on that guy?
Spilka?
And a lot of people thought he got out. Yeah, Spilka. It took him like 9 rounds, and Spilka's defense is shit. He fights with his hands down.
It's true.
It took him.
He literally walked into that punch.
Exactly.
Walked into that punch.
He walked.
Yeah, that's
true. He fucking lunged in. It's like, okay, I'm gonna come in now. I mean, it was ridiculous.
So Usyk can't go 3 more rounds. He could get knocked out. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think it's very likely.
You know what Spilka has? Spilka has that slick movement. I used the word. Yes, I did.
The what? The what?
Oh God, man.
That's what it was, bro. And he was defense. Because he didn't protect himself. But his movement is avoiding shots. It was pretty good. It was pretty decent. But then again, I'm not gonna compare it to Usyk, because it's kind of like Usyk doesn't do those type of moves. You know what I mean? It's not.
I've got a question.
Running around. Go ahead.
Yeah, why is no one saying how the heavyweights will handle Usyk's power? Everyone's saying how Usyk will handle their power. But what about if we reverse it?
Because we don't really know.
Usyk's going to be hitting them.
Know, but yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. Because Usyk's going to be hitting them, like, tagging them up all night, because he's got fast hands. He's very accurate. He doesn't put power into every shot, but he does have power. He's basically Lomachenko, he tap, and then he sits down on one, and then he feel it. So that's what I'm wondering.
I don't think he's going to be Chris Bird. Is that what people are thinking? I can already guarantee you he hits harder than Chris Bird, all right?
No, he hits hard, man.
Oh,
it's just that it's the Lomachenko effect. People don't think he hits hard, but when he sits down his punches, people feel them.
It's not always about how hard he hits. With his technique, he can catch you on nice angles where your chin is somewhere else that it shouldn't be at, and your fucking brain gets scrambled up. He doesn't like the one what he did against Tony Bellew. He landed the same shot a couple of times actually on Tony Bellew, and then it finally gave in, and Tony Bellew's legs gave out. He got sparked out. Let's just say that much. He doesn't have to put a lot of pop in his punches. It's the technique and the precision of where it goes that actually makes it even more effective. But on the other hand, when you talk about Wilder, it's pop. It's all power. It's speed and power. That's what he times it pretty good. He has good defense. Surprisingly, some people get pissed off when I say this. He has better defense based off of what he does than AJ. He has better defense. When he backs up, he waits, he backs up, he waits until he just lands his fucking shot. That's why I favor Wilder over AJ any time of the day.
Deontay Wilder leans straight back with his chin up in the air.
Straight arm, his arm stretched.
He does have his chin up in the air, and he can take a punch. That is true.
He's been able to get he's been able to get away with
to the side also, dude. He also moves to the side. He also moves his waist around. He makes it difficult for the guy to hit him, but it's not like he's unhittable. He still gets hit.
Molina almost knocked him down. He couldn't do anything to AJ.
I think he can fuck up AJ, honestly. I'll put money
So
on it.
I agree
When I
with
put
you, but
money on fights, that means I'm pretty
that's not the
confident.
point. That's not the
Yeah.
point. I agree with you. What I'm saying is that you're saying he has better defense than AJ, and I'm giving you a measuring stick. The Molina fight. Molina had Wilder on Queer Street, and he couldn't barely touch AJ. So I mean, does he really have better defense, or does he just fight bums? I think it's the latter. I don't think his defense is that great. He just
His
doesn't fight
style,
nobody.
His
also
defense
styles
is
make
his.
fights. Yeah, styles also make fights who you facing against. Mayweather looks phenomenal against defensively against some guys. But then you put him up against Maidana, and he looks like dog shit. You know what I mean? So it depends on who he's facing and at the time that he's facing him also.
Let's analyze Wilder's defense against his best opposition he's faced. So let's say against Fury. Any time when Fury actually decided to step it up, like come forward, man, he was fucking Wilder up, man. I think he could have stopped him. He actually did that from the beginning, but he was playing around, moving around.
Fury fought like a bitch, man.
Yeah.
He fought like a bitch.
I'm
man.
disappointed, man.
You know why he was doing that? You know why he was doing that?
Why?
Because he was cautious. The thing
He
is,
was
with
scared of the power.
Yeah. Oh, how?
The fight was
Okay, hold on. So he was scared of the power, but how about in the 12th round? Why he come forward? Try to make it
the
up.
12th. Yeah, the 12th round.
The fight was fixed.
He went balls deep, and he went fucking for it. He closed the distance, making it more difficult on him to snipe him from.
Yeah, Wilder and his defensive wizardry was out the window in the 12th round. He wasn't doing shit. He has no defense. I'm sorry, man. I don't know, man. Maybe what you mean by defense is because he's so tall. Yeah, he throws his opponents off.
Awkward,
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
awkward.
But that's not that's just because he's fucking tall, man. And he just leans back, and you can't fucking reach the guy sometimes. That's I don't know.
I'll give you an example. I've seen him fight sparring David Haye, and David Haye was wailing on him. When David Haye was kind of something at that time, and he was wailing on him, and he put up his hands, and he took all them. I mean, some of them landed. The uppercuts landed on the Wilder at that when he was wailing on him. But a lot of the shots on the sides, the hooks that David Haye was landing on him, it was touching the gloves.
He
was
got
holding
wobbled
on,
in that
but
fight.
that at this, yeah, he was getting beat up. But the thing is, though, that's previous Wilder. That's while back Wilder.
Yeah, but he got wobbled too.
Yeah, no,
He
that's
did,
not.
First of all, that's sparring.
defense.
First of all, that's sparring. But he did get wobbled in that sparring. So
I'm gonna mention that, and I'm gonna bring in the Ortiz fight where Ortiz hurt him, right?
Not Judas style.
Yeah, I'm mentioning that. I'm mentioning now the Ortiz fight. Ortiz caught him. Yeah, they gave him like that little 7 seconds of relaxation Jackson shit. But the thing is, though, I don't think even with that 7 seconds relaxation Jackson shit, that was just them trying to make sure nothing happens. I don't think Ortiz would have still knocked him out at that position. He still wouldn't have been able to, because the way he would put up his hands and he would lean back sometimes just to avoid the fucking shots. Ortiz had a hard time touching him up after he hurt him. He had a hard time touching him up after he hurt him. If he landed after that really good shots, he would have finished fucking Wilder, but he didn't.
Well, here's my thing with Wilder, because I've said it before. I watched the videos we did over at VDA Live, and the video we did prior to the first Wilder Ortiz fight. We give Wilder credit for what he does. He's awkward. He makes it work. It doesn't matter if it's bad technique or whatever. He makes it work for him in combination with that power. But when he fights a guy like Usyk, or if he fights Fury again, and Fury figures out a couple of things, the fact that he can be hit, the fact that he does make mistakes, those are the little factors that can cost him big in any old fight. So that's why
I'm glad you mentioned those names. I'm glad you mentioned those names, because those are the only two names I could think of that could beat him. The other guys, AJ, I don't see it. Ruiz might. Ruiz is another guy that might, because the chin and the fast hands that he has, he might make that happen. Dylan White, I don't think so. Dylan White gets K the fuck over. Even though Wilder is afraid of him, that doesn't mean shit. Just because you're afraid of somebody don't mean crap. You know, once you get in the ring, you feel him out. It's a whole different story.
All right.
It's not what you know, it's what you can prove.
Good point.
I agree with that. I do think Wilder can. I don't know if he's really scared of White, but I think that's a winnable fight for him, because he can easily place White in range for that right hand. But Fury, Usyk, and here's another thing, Bucho. If Usyk starts becoming a threat and starts making some of these heavyweights look bad, and it looks as if he could be positioned for a shot at Wilder or Josh or whatever, you watch a certain demographic go after him. He might just become persona non
They're
grata.
already going after him.
Already?
Yeah. Can you imagine? I know this is like unlikely. Oh, maybe. But imagine Usyk knocks out Wilder. Can you imagine the craziness that would generate? The chaos?
Knocks out who?
If
cut off.
Usyk would knock out Wilder.
Oh yeah, he becomes
Richard,
automatic.
You know what they do?
Automatic.
You know what they do?
Number one.
Richard, you know what they do? They'll call it white supremacy and compare it to the Fury fight. They're like, Wilder didn't get 13 seconds, but Fury did. Stuff like that.
Yo, they're still
Tell you
Dude,
that's
they
what
will
they're
have
gonna do.
excuses. They will weep and cry, but that's a different story. The thing is, though, with Usyk beating Wilder or even Tyson Fury, either one of those two guys, in my opinion, he belongs in pound for pound number one. No argument. Nobody beats him. No argument. He is number one.
Well, if
But at this
Usyk beats
point,
him,
I would have to agree.
If Usyk beats him, what about all those people that think Wilder is the best thing? That he's the best boxer ever. Would that
they
make
will
Usyk
weep
the
and
best
cry.
boxer?
Hey, hold
They will
on.
weep and cry.
I have a very interesting question here for everybody who has Usyk number one or number two pound for pound. Are you gonna take him out of your pound for pound list because he's a heavyweight now?
Huh?
No, I'll keep him.
Well, wait a minute.
You
I
can't.
have heavyweights in my list. Well, I mean,
I
don't
have,
mind.
I used to, but I don't at the
But there's
moment. But I used
people
to.
that don't. They have the old school type of thing where, like, well, a pound for pound list is for non-heavyweights only. So
The reason why you put Usyk in the pound for pound list and not the likes of AJ's and Ruiz's and all these other guys is because cruiserweight and then he went up to heavyweight. That's the reason why I put him up in the pound for pound list. If he was only in the heavyweight division and he never made his claim in the cruiserweight division, then I would not have him. I'll probably have him close to. He will still be in a pound for pound list, but he won't probably be in the top 5. Probably. I'm saying probably, depending on how he performs.
Imagine Canelo moves up to heavyweight and beats somebody important, somebody good. Like, how could you say he's not a pound for pound fighter, right? It's an exaggeration, obviously, but I'm just trying to make a point. Basically, yeah, I agree. He would be a heavyweight de facto, but he would be considered a cruiserweight that moved up, obviously.
all right, fair enough.
Can I mention something? Because Precise and McGregor were going to go at it. Then McGregor dropped off. So I want to create a little bit of strife here between myself and Gypsy Boxing. Because Gypsy, you were saying you were on the Discord the other day. People were going after you. I don't know for what exactly. Didn't catch the whole thing. Then you said, PDA doesn't want me on the show anymore because I go against his agenda. What type of agenda do I got other than entertaining people?
Dude, we know that this is the white TBC, LDBC shit, bro. I don't pick sides. I don't fucking pick any sides. I pick the one I think wins. I don't pick fucking, because AJ, kind of looked good. Let's say Povetkin fight, right? AJ knocked out Povetkin. Okay. I already predicted a long time ago that he was going to do that. He was going to fucking knock him out. I knew this. But the thing is, though, because AJ's fucking confidence didn't seem right, and we saw finally. I've been saying this ever since Klitschko fucking hurt him. His confidence don't seem right. Something's not right with his head. I thought that fight might have gone decision and robbery by AJ or something like that. That's what I was thinking. But he proved me wrong. He actually knocked him out. You know what I mean? He knocked him out. Good job. Like I initially thought he was going to do. Initially, that's what I thought he was going to do. But he looked piss poor, for instance, right? He looked piss poor. I'm the type of guy to say, yeah, he looked piss fucking poor. I'm not the type of guy to say, oh, he looked great. He was controlling the fight. No, he wasn't. And then you saw that, and you saw that with the Ruiz fight. You saw that with the Ruiz fight. You saw that what happened to him.
At some point, right?
What I'm trying to say is, what I'm trying to get at is that no matter what, no matter what, I pick what I see. I don't just go like, because everybody's like, okay, let's protect, for instance, Triple G. Okay, let's protect Triple G. No matter what, let's protect your. That I don't have that shit. I don't do
Yeah,
that.
but first of all, you know that the thing is, the more you defend your opinion in the Discord or in the chat, the more they're gonna give you shit for that. So it's like
I
fighting.
know. That's why I left, bro.
It's like
So I
fighting
left.
quick.
I'm like, I don't need that shit. It's all good.
Shit starter.
You know, like
It's like fighting
yeah,
quicksand.
I enjoyed it as long as it lasted. It was fucking fun. You know, picking shots made him look stupid a couple times. You know, and then I made myself look stupid a couple fucking things that I said. It was cool.
Well, that's the
you
only
know?
thing I didn't like. That's the only thing I didn't like when you said, "Oh, BDA doesn't want me around." I was like, well, the only reason why we don't have certain people around at certain points is we don't have the spots when we get a full house or when it's when we're expecting some of the older guests to come on board. So, but I've never said that. Oh, I don't want Gypsy Style on the show because I don't like what he says.
No, that's not it. I know you never said that. I feel like sometimes when I speak, I feel like they talk over me. And when they talk over me, I get muffled. I rewatch the same video. I feel like I get muffled out, like on purpose or something. So I'm like, fuck that shit. If that's the case, then I might as well not fucking go on the channel. It's like, I'll do my own shit on my own channel.
Well, first of all, there's two factors for that. Number one is sometimes when you talk, we're not sure if you're done because you take a little pause and then you pick it up. And we all do that, but you seem to do that more often than others. And second of all, that thing that you just said about when somebody talks over you and your volume goes down, that used to happen to me all the time on Hangouts. That's why I'm happy we changed. But it still happens sometimes. I don't know. It might even be. It happens to Bucho though. It's happening to Bucho now, who's hosting on the Discord right now.
All right, who cares, man? Listen.
Who cares? I'm speaking my mind and you're like, who cares?
No, I mean, Gypsy, I mean, this guy's a shit stuff. How can we categorize? I can't even speak. How can we?
Drinking, bitch.
Yeah, no, I'm not drinking.
He just
no, wait. I'm not drinking.
Oh boy.
Maybe you need to be.
Yeah, exactly, man. I need to drink to like fucking make sense. Gypsy likes the attention by talking shit. Let's be honest. Admit that.
I do talk
See,
shit.
there you go,
just
man.
for entertainment purposes. But the
there
thing
you
is,
go.
though, I like to hear other people's opinions as well. You know, I like to hear other people's opinions. Sometimes, sometimes when I talk, and I'm gonna throw my opinion out, it's like it gets muffled out and shit. Like for example, right now, I'm pretty sure that fucking voice that you just threw out right there is gonna be hard as fuck to that was a meme, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be hard to hear what I gotta say at this moment in time.
Doesn't that happen to everyone, Gypsy? Happens to me.
Yeah, but my it seems like either my audio's all fucked up or something like that. But it seems like my shit's always muffled up.
No, it's everybody. Gypsy, are you gonna blame the
audio?
Gypsy? It's the Jews.
No, seriously, it's your audio because there was one point a couple of days ago when you came on the show. I think it was that day where everybody was complaining. Well, not everybody, but some people were complaining about how they come in too late during the show.
Mm-hmm.
You came on and we could barely hear what you were saying. It seems like you were on the train or maybe I don't know Skid Row over there in California. I don't know, but it sounded it didn't sound good at all. So maybe it might be your earphones or your microphone, whatever.
Yeah, I'll try to fix that. I'll try to see what I can do with the audio. Even with the videos that I'm doing, I do it on the phone, so the phone's not that great itself. So
anyway, I just wanted to create. All right, I just wanted to get a little something going here. Fraction, a little controversy.
Good point.
Anyway,
well, fuck you there. No, is that what you want?
We want some controversy here.
And by the way, there was an old guy in my gym. I asked him. I didn't ask him, but some people were talking about pound for pound list, and I was about to ask about this old man's pound for pound list, and he said before I could ask, he said pound for pound, and I'm quoting here: the pound for pound lists are for queers. And so I said, all right, mental note: never talk pound for pound with this fucking guy. But I think he's got a point. I'm gonna steal that quote.
I really don't do pound for pound. The last time I was asked by Bucho to do pound for pound, I just didn't care. That's the reason why I did it. He said, just do a pound for pound list and put it up on a video. I said, okay, I'll go ahead and do this. So I just did it.
So you don't care about pound for pound lists?
I won't say I don't care about it. I just don't do it. I just
Because
don't
you
do it
don't
often.
care about it.
Since now so since now we're like constantly mentioning pound for pound, so I had mine. So like if someone asked me what's my pound for pound list, I'm not gonna be like, give me a sec. You know what I mean? I already got it prepped up.
That sounds like a guy who would, when they ask him, are you a homosexual? And he would go, well, I'm not a homosexual, but if somebody presents me the opportunity, I'll try it. Why not?
That's not exactly what it is, but in the Jewish congregation, that's probably what it is. You know what I mean?
No, that's exactly.
Stop it.
What are you saving up to be? Jewish?
The problem, the problem with pound for pound is that the concept was never supposed to include 10 people. Are we still here?
Black
Everyone
people?
get kicked off.
People?
You say black people?
The pound there's not supposed to be a pound for pound list. Okay, the concept was developed for who is the best fighter in the sport, regardless of weight class. That's what pound for pound. That's how it was originated with Sugar Ray Robinson. So like the problem becomes rating these guys because you can kind of tell if people are being honest. We all know who the best pound for pound fighter is in the world. It's obviously Lomachenko. We all know this. At one point, it was obviously Mayweather, and another it was obviously Roy Jones. Like we know who the best guy in the sport is, basically. But once you start adding, all these other 9 guys, it gets all confusing, and it's just a big fucking shit show.
I should add Kovalev to the pound for pound list. My top 10 at least. Sadly, I didn't. I had Bivol instead.
Oh,
Bivol. I mean,
but because I thought he was washed up, I thought Kovalev was done. That's why.
Speaking of done, and speaking of
People
pound for pound lists,
yeah.
I'm Butcher. I'm working on a what's his name, Regis Prograis versus Josh Taylor. Little mini film analysis here, just analyzing each guy's weaknesses and strong points.
Mhm.
I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I think Josh Taylor is going to school Prograis, man.
Yeah, I can see it, man. He's the most technical. If you have to pick which boxer is the most technically skilled, Taylor has to take it, right?
I don't say school. I would say it's going to be a tough fight. I think it's going to be a close fight, but I think Taylor edges it out. I think it's going to go 12 rounds.
How does he school him, BDA?
Well, that's a good question, Precise. It's a good little setup there. Here's the thing. What's his name? Prograis reminds me a lot of William Joppy. Of course, just a more polished version. He's got extremely quick reflexes. The problem is he fights with his hands on a lot. I'm giving away the video here, but who cares? I mean, hopefully you guys watch it anyway. But when looking particularly at the Flanagan fight, he fights with his hands down, a lot of upper body movement, very flashy. But there's certain spots where he gets very lackadaisical with his defense, and he's there to be hit. Now, in part that was because he didn't respect Flanagan's power, but there were a lot of openings to the body and upstairs, especially after he attacks. He's the classic guy that takes a snapshot after he throws or lands a punch. He stays there for just a microsecond, and when you're fighting the fellow cream of the crop in that division, you're liable to start losing small advantages as the fight goes on, which, I use the word schooled. I'm not saying he's going to get beat up in there, but I think it's going to be clear that Josh Taylor is the winner, which is pretty impressive considering Prograis' physical gifts. So I think he's going to do it with the jab. I think he's going to do it counter-punching. And I think he's going to do it from afar and inside as well. I think he schools. I will say this, school. I think he schools Prograis on the inside.
That's a big word.
I know.
See, the thing is, though, I had the same perception of Taylor versus Prograis initially. But after watching the Baranchik fight, I would say he's kind of vulnerable to the body. Taylor, that is. And Prograis hits pretty good in the body. And that's a good point. Edge some rounds to fucking Prograis. Might edge some rounds. And that's the reason why I'm saying it's going to be a tough fight. And he has a chin also. Prograis has a pretty good chin. They both got pretty good chins, honestly. And Taylor, honestly, to me, he kind of looks unhealthy. I don't know what anybody says. To me, he kind of does look unhealthy. That might play a role in the fight as well because of the weight cut. Prograis looks nice though. Prograis looks healthy. It's like he doesn't. I don't see anything wrong with him.
How nice does he look?
Yeah. How about them abs?
I'm talking about like his facial, like how he looks, like as in like, you know how sometimes when you can look at someone's face and you go like, oh man, he looks like he's dehydrated, looks like he's, you know, out of it. Not body wise, I'm talking about facially. It feels like he's training himself to make that weight. You know what I mean?
Okay. So
Well,
it
he is
could be.
supposedly Boxrick has him listed as 5'11".
Yeah, he's a pretty big dude for that weight division, bro.
No, I'm sorry, 5'11". I got to
No,
check
he's
that.
not 5'11". That's too tall, man.
Let me see exactly how tall they have.
How tall is Prograis?
5'8", maybe. Hold on, let me check.
5'8". He seems to
5'7",
be
5'8".
like, yeah, that's not that far away. If he's 5'8", that's not far away from where he's actually is at. It's like 5'10", 5'11".
Boxrec
Okay.
has, remember, Boxrec is not always exact. They tend to beef up the numbers a little bit just to make things a little seem more interesting. But they have Josh Taylor listed as 5'10" and 5 feet and 10 inches, and they have Prograis at 5'8", which sounds about right.
See what I mean? He's 5'8". That's why he looks so comfortable in that weight division.
That's true.
Prograis.
That's true.
5'11" dude, bro, in 140. It's like, what the fuck?
My thing is this: Prograis actually looks better when he's fighting on the outside, or I should say he looks flashier. Because when he fought in Dongo, okay, he came forward and he stopped in Dongo, but he was getting hit a lot. And in Dongo, it seemed had nothing on those shots. Flanagan is a solid B guy, and just based on the eye test and based on who they fought, I think Josh Taylor is a lot better than Flanagan. They're both southpaws, and Flanagan Taylor has a much better variety of shots, whereas Flanagan had a good jab, decent, I would say, and a slapping left hand. And even then, he was landing on Prograis, but he just wasn't doing anything. Taylor has different type of power, larger variety of shots. He can go to the body. He's got a wicked kind of left uppercut to the body. And I'm telling you, I don't know if Prograis, the Relic fight, I was impressed to a certain extent because Relic is a tough dude in there for anybody because he's conditioned and all that. But he didn't have the firepower to put any worry in
The
Prograis.
thing with Prograis is that Prograis, what was I gonna say? Almost forgot. Or did I forget completely? Prograis, he can if he wants to fight. If the fight he wants it to be like a brutal, like he wants to bring it to you, doesn't care about getting hit. He does it that way. If he wants to box you, he boxes you. He can choose to do either or. That's the thing about Prograis. So if you're watching one thing and you say, "Oh, he can't," like he lets his hands down and all that shit, you might not do that against Taylor.
You need to mute your microphone.
Yeah, as I was saying, he might not do that against Taylor. You know what I mean? He might do it against someone else, like he did against Relic, or I don't know, anybody. Anybody you mentioned, I forgot who you mentioned that you did that against. It depends. It depends on who he's fighting against. So it's kind of hard to say that, oh, he would definitely do that against Taylor. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, it's hard because neither guy has really fought anybody. Like Taylor has never fought anybody that's like Prograis. He's got that weird herky-jerky style. I'm not gonna use the S word, but fucking Taylor, man. I mean, he's fought the better opposition at this point.
I was gonna say that. Who has the better opposition in the tournament?
Taylor had
Prograis, come on. Prograis beat the unified light welterweight champ. Come on, guys. Terence Crawford's best victory, and he did it better. Haters.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody hated on Prograis, bro.
Hey, speaking of Crawford, did you guys see that whole thing that people are making a big deal about? I don't know if you talked about it already, but Crawford told Errol Spence, take your panties off.
Yeah.
And now everybody's going crazy, making videos about it. It's like, oh, he told him to take his panties off.
Yeah, I know, man. It's like, I was going to make a video about it. Not joking.
I think he did a Conor McGregor thing about Red Penny Night. I think he took that off of his page. I think the last video where I mentioned he doesn't talk a lot of shit, I think somebody from this chat, a message went around or something like that. You know how it goes. Rumors get crossed left and right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh shit, like Red Penny, something like that. Take your pennies though.
Do you guys remember Terence Crawford calling anybody out like that? Like supposedly Pacquiao ducked him. Do you guys remember Terence Crawford being so adamant about a fight ever before?
No.
Like, what? He's desperate, man. He's fucking desperate. His career is in shambles.
He's
just
not
saying,
getting
man.
any younger.
Exactly.
Also. And
He got no one to fight.
he's getting
Well,
paid
Black-
though.
It's-
He's getting paid though.
Yeah. Well, he's bankrupting Top Rank, basically.
Yeah. No, they really have to compromise here, and fight out of the ESPN. Go fight in Showtime or Fox, whatever.
Well, take less than 50%, and the fight will get made. Don't ask for 50%. You don't deserve 50%. It's really that simple.
See, that's
I don't
the
know,
problem.
man. Spence.
That's the problem.
Spence ain't gonna be making 147 too long.
I've been hearing stories about Porter trying to make a fight with Terence Crawford. I don't know how much of that is true. It might work out.
Terence Crawford said he won't fight Porter. He's just said it. He's on record saying he won't fight him. It's not a fight he could get up for, he said, basically.
Are you serious? Holy fuck.
That's what he said. Because they're friends. That's the excuse. We're friends.
Oh, they're friends too?
I mean, you could go on his Instagram, you could go on his Facebook, and I guarantee you won't find one fucking photo with his friend Sean Porter.
Jesus, I mean,
what is Sean Porter saying though?
That he's open to that fight. I mean, he basically said, yeah, we're friends, or like we know each other, this and that. But his dad trained fucking Spence. Get out of here. But he said, if we gotta fight, we gotta fight. One day we're in the same division. One day it's gonna come to it where we're gonna have to fight. That's what Porter basically said. So he'll fight him. Porter fight anybody. We know this.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Wouldn't surprise me if Porter did make some moves to try to get the fight done. Maybe he tells, because remember, he's one of those Al Heyman fighters who has been vocal in the past about not being happy with the way he's been promoted. So maybe now, seeing how he's fought everybody on the PBC stable, maybe now he's thinking, hey, listen, Al, how about you let me go over to the other side of the street and get a Crawford fight? Best case scenario, I win the fight, and I bring over Terence Crawford's O over here. We take his O. So it wouldn't surprise me if he wanted.
Somebody was
Crawford
saying,
why would
I see a future of Porter talking a lot of shit to Terence Crawford to make the fight happen.
No, it's not Porter's style. Come on, man. But Al will make that fight, in my opinion, just like no one's talking about it, not here anyway. He just let Derevyachenko fight Golovkin on the zone, so why wouldn't he let Porter fight Terence Crawford, right? Porter's expendable, like Derevyachenko is. He'll make that fight, I think.
He also allowed Jacobs to fight Golovkin, and I believe Jacobs was still part of the PBC at that point. So
because Charlo is the 160 guy, right, for the PBC, I guess. He's the commodity they want to protect.
He's the bum that they're trying to protect. He's the most weakest out of all of the top names.
Oh. Well, listen. If Al Heyman says that the fight between Spence and Crawford is not ready yet and it needs to be marinated, then Al Heyman could actually help this marination process by allowing Porter to fight Crawford. That's gonna help Crawford's profile, and then eventually in a year that fight's gonna be big if they both continue to fight.
It's a great fight. Very good fight. I'm not sure Crawford beats Porter. I mean, he's never fought anyone like Porter.
Precise, you really don't think highly of Crawford, huh?
Well, he's never fought anybody, so why should I think highly of him?
But
like,
just
who has he beaten?
Eye test wise, is that even is there anything you see with Crawford, or he's really just?
Oh, he's talented. He's skillful. He fights well. But you're talking about the eye test. I mean, I see him getting hit a lot.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And Paul's improved. Overall, Paul has improved. From if you compare him to when he first won his world title to now, he looks a lot better.
Look, Taylor. Okay, this is you talking eye test. Taylor beat Posto better. Prograis, who was about to get schooled according to BDA, beat Ndongo better. Anybody that Crawford fights, some bum beat Gamboa better. Not the same Gamboa, I get it, but he's not doing anything out of the ordinary, is he? He's not.
I agree.
Danny Garcia beat Khan better. Like, how many of these examples do you need to see before we come to grips with the fact that Terence Crawford's not a pound-for-pound fighter? Because he's not performing better than average top-level fighters in his division. He's not performing better against anybody. You want to say he's better because you believe he is? Fine. There's nothing I can do about that. But don't be surprised if he gets in the ring with Porter and gets his ass beat.
Okay. I believe that Indongo was beaten by Prograis better than what Crawford did. But I
Crawford
don't
just
believe
punched him in the
that
stomach.
Postal, I don't think Postal got beaten by either one of those guys better than what's his name, Crawford. That I don't believe.
Yeah, I agree. Here's the thing with Crawford is he's got fast fans and power. And what's his name? Keith Thurman caught Porter coming in, but he doesn't. What's his name? Crawford has better straight shots and counter uppercuts than Keith Thurman. I think, I'm gonna say something controversial here, but I actually think he might stop Sean Porter. Believe it or not.
I don't think
I'm gonna say something controversial.
Yes, I think it's a
I'm gonna
style.
I'm gonna say something controversial. I think Porter stops Crawford.
Oh.
Why is he ducking him? Why is he ducking him? You know what I mean? Like, that's ridiculous.
Too much of a risk. He doesn't want to risk the fight because if he loses, then his career is over. No more paydays.
I don't
this
think
guy's never fought anybody. Like, how come he's never fought anybody? If he's that good, why isn't he fighting anybody? He doesn't want to fight Kell Brook. Kell Brook is fucking used up, isn't he? Why won't he fight Kell Brook?
Wait a minute. Kell Brook said when he comes down, he's gonna have one single fight before he fights him. That's what I've been hearing. I don't know who said that shit. Somebody said
But
that.
Bob Arum said Kell Brook is a nobody. They don't want that fight. I mean, we'll see what happens.
Okay,
but
so what the hell do they want? Okay, hold on. So Bob Arum knows that Kell Brook is a threat for Crawford, so they're gonna bypass that fight. But they still.
No, in my opinion, Bob Arum doesn't have the money to pay Kell Brook because Terence Crawford doesn't sell.
Holy shit.
I think that's the problem. I don't think Terence Crawford is necessarily scared as to who. Well, listen, he didn't look pretty against Postal, but almost every other guy he's fought who's decent enough, he's been able to stop. So he can't be that bad. I mean, he's getting hit. That's a problem right there for sure. But I just think since he's faster and hits hard, that just alone, that combination of speed and power is enough to give most people trouble. And I think against Porter, I know it's crazy to think it. I'm not dying on this hill, by the way, but I just get the feeling based on the styles and the position and the velocity of the shots, I get a feeling he might actually surprise people and be the first to stop. What's his name? Porter. Then again, I could also see Porter making it past Crawford's power and just bullying him on the inside the way he does everybody. Because we've never seen him fight on the inside. I don't even know if he can fight on the inside other than clinch.
He can't.
But that's
his punches are wide, man.
That's listen, BDA, you're right about that. It might be like that, like the way you're saying the stoppage. Because see, for instance, when we're talking about how Errol was throwing punches at fucking Porter, right? Even the knockdown he achieved, he was pretty much doing the same move that he did in the second round, where his neck was all cracked up to the side with I think it was a right shovel fucking uppercut, something like that. But it's not like that. He actually landed with, I think he southpaw, right? It was the left hand that he landed on. He caught him on that same position, that same area. The thing is his chin, Porter is durable, but the thing is the way Errol shoots his punches, he doesn't put a lot of, everything behind it. Like, even though he might think he does, he doesn't put a lot behind his punches. The thing with Terence Crawford is he can catch you while you're coming to him. He lures you in. And snipes you from far away. And when he does, he puts a lot more than what,
Precise.
let's
Can
say,
you mute your mic,
somebody
man?
like Earl Spence would do.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he can put a lot more over his punches than what Errol does because of how he throws the punches. But I still don't think he can stop Porter because Porter he'll make it a tough, scruffy fight like he always does. Every fight he goes in, he makes it look sloppy. Well, not every fight, every elite level fight, like Danny Garcia, whatever, Errol Spence, Thurman. The only person in my eyes he beat was Danny Garcia out of all the guys I just mentioned.
I'm just
That's the
taking
only
chances this episode.
He beat the shit out of Spence. I know
Okay,
that.
yeah, he beat the shit out of
Beat
Spence.
the shit out of
We'll
Spence.
see if that rematch ever happens. See how it looks again.
It won't. Why would it happen? Why would Heyman risk Spence again?
Most likely, it will probably happen again. Most
It
likely,
will
it'll
never
probably.
happen. Like Spence said himself, he's not fighting for it again.
Yeah, because he's looking for other better things, better money right now. Once all that shit's
Of
done,
course,
maybe
but
people
he's still got his ass whipped. What's gonna happen? Is
Okay,
Spence gonna
that's
fight
good. I got it. That's your
Garcia,
opinion.
Pacquiao, and then move up?
He's gonna take Garcia. This is what they're saying, that he's ducking Pacquiao, right? I don't think he's ducking
He
Pacquiao.
is.
I think what's
He
going
is.
on. This is what's happening. This is what's happening. If you pay attention to what he said just because Danny Garcia walked in the ring don't mean shit. Errol Spence walked in one of Porter's fucking fights, and the fight didn't happen automatically. It doesn't mean shit. What's gonna happen is if Pacquiao, he's waiting on Pacquiao. If Pacquiao next year decides to fight him, that's the fight that he's gonna do. There's a lot more money in that fight than there is in the Danny Garcia fight.
There's a lot more money in that fight than there is in the Crawford fight.
Also,
There's a lot more risk. There's a lot more risk.
Yeah, that's the
like,
fight.
Spence
Hey,
could lose.
about Crawford, has he ever fought a puncher?
Gamboa.
Gamboa, yeah.
I guess it's the no man. Yeah, he was 130.
Posto's not a puncher. He's not a
Postal's
puncher.
not a puncher. Come on. No, he's not. Come on,
not a
what's his
puncher.
name?
Indongo. No, he isn't a puncher. I don't know, man. Fuck.
He's never fought a puncher. Look, Crawford could be all the things that people say he is, but I mean, you're just guessing. Yeah, okay, he's got skills, don't get me wrong, definitely. He's got quick hands, he's got good selection of punches, this and that, ring IQ, all those things, right? But if he's so much better than all these guys, why isn't he performing any better than any of them? Right? He's not. He's never fought anybody. He's never beaten anyone like elite. So I'm just saying, that's why I'm skeptical. You could make all these educated guesses about Crawford, but I think you're overlooking a lot of facts also. Like, he's not performing any better than Danny Garcia. He didn't. With the one measuring stick that we got, he didn't perform any better.
Well, how did?
Okay, I'll give you the Posto fight. Maybe he performed better, but I mean, Posto lost to Hank fucking Lundy.
He made Amir Khan quit, bro.
Can I ask though? But because if you want to say that, by the way, what's going on? What's going on in the background there?
He's milking a cow, precisely.
No, I'm feeding my dog. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, what's that sound?
What's me?
What's going on in this podcast? Get control, BDA.
Yeah, I'm not hosting today. It's Bucci today. What's his? Yeah, the Garcia thing. I can't necessarily agree with you on that one, Precise, about how Garcia did better than Can. Well, I mean, the end result, he knocked him out, stopped him, but he was getting pieced up a little bit in there. Garcia caught and everything. He did get caught, I believe. I would have to rewatch the fight. Crawford, he got, he ate some shots, but I didn't see him in as much trouble as Can had Garcia in. I actually disagree with the Postal thing. I actually did think, I rewatched that fight. I didn't like how Crawford looked in it. He was way too defensive, way too conservative. I think he could have done a little bit more, but he wanted a taller guy to come to him. But it was one of his most boring performances, that one.
You know why he was waiting for the taller guy to come to him? Because Postal's a puncher. That's why.
The most objective way to look at how who performs against who and how they do is the end result. That's the only way to look at it, because you could excuse everything else by styles, make fights, this and that. If you're a pound for pound guy, it doesn't matter what style you're fighting. It doesn't matter what weight class it does matter what weight class, but like, you should be performing much better than everybody else, and he's not. Even if you want to say he did slightly better, I mean, Danny Garcia fought a prime Amir Khan on a hot streak, and did Amir Khan outbox him? Yeah, he outboxes everybody in the first couple of rounds, and then he gets knocked out. Garcia did a better job against a better version of Khan. Khan was fucking useless. I mean, by the time Crawford picked up Khan, not only was it a different weight division, Khan was already, having trouble with bums. Like Khan was already useless. I mean, look, we could sit here and debate, but like you can't tell me that he's performing like a pound for pound fighter. And if he is, then all those other guys who have similar results, well, maybe they should be on the pound for pound list too. And it's not just that; it's also that he's never beaten anybody ever before, and they're clearly keeping him away from punchers. They're clearly cherry picking and protecting Terence Crawford. Like that's obvious because they're pricing him out of the Spence fight. They won't fight Porter. They don't seem too keen on fighting Brook. Like something's up with this guy. I'm just saying something's going on, man. He ducked Pacquiao. He didn't want to fight Pacquiao. Look, he wants to fight Spence. He's calling him names, calling him out on Twitter, doing all these things. He never did that with Pacquiao. What did he do? He asked Pacquiao to come down and wait and give him $8 million.
Well, can I say
Pacquiao. Wait a minute. Wait
Hold
a
on,
minute.
let BDA talk. He
Okay.
hasn't talked.
Yeah, I just wanted to say in regards to that. I mean, that all of that is true, precisely. It's weird the way Crawford is talking outside the ring or not talking in certain instances. But I want to stick to what's going on in the ring. And you're right. The end result is the most important thing. Danny Garcia did knock Amir Khan out, and it's true that Amir Khan was an older and cocked version when he fought Terence Crawford. I'm saying cocked because of what happened allegedly with Anthony Joshua and all that. But at the end of the day, Terence Crawford was on his way to stopping Amir Khan. He was wearing him down to the body, which is interesting because Terence Crawford is usually not a body puncher as far as I can remember. So but the reason why I bought the Garcia Khan fight is because Khan was outboxing Garcia. I know you disagree on this, but I didn't see Khan outboxing Terence Crawford. So I think that's something that you can see and use to prove that Terence Crawford does have boxing skills against, and when you compare
Likewise, I didn't see Amir Khan outboxing fucking Terence Crawford. He had his moments in the fight where he kind of threw some shots in there, kind of got him like out of position.
You guys,
That's about it. Most of the time, he got countered and got hit so bad that eventually got to a point where there was not even a nut punch involved. It was a leg punch. He's like, "Oh, I can't handle this no more," because he was getting his ass beat up the entire fucking time. That's why.
well, you guys are missing the point. Why is Crawford struggling with if he was a pound for pound fighter, why is he struggling with Amir Khan?
He ain't struggling though. He was not struggling.
He was struggling. Why is he struggling with
If you're
Amir
talking
Khan?
about boxing skill, why couldn't he set up Amir Khan the way Canelo set him up? Canelo didn't use his. Obviously, the punch had strength in it. Don't get me wrong, had power, but Canelo didn't use his size really advantage in that fight. Then you got to see set Amir Khan up. Yeah, did he like walk through some punches? Yeah, but he was setting them up. If we're talking about boxing skill, both of those guys set Amir Khan up much better than Terence Crawford.
Is it possible that Danny Garcia is it possible that Danny Garcia hits harder than fucking Terence Crawford? Is it possible that Canelo
Of
hits
course
harder
he
than Terence
does.
Crawford?
The record speaks
Of
for
course.
itself. Of course he hits harder
Okay,
than
then
Terence
then
Crawford.
that doesn't mean anything then, because he dropped.
Yeah,
him
but
in a
he
very
still had
good
to land the punch. He still look. My grandma can knock out Amir Khan if she lands on the chin with her pinky. Like you just gotta land. You just gotta have the skill, the timing, the ability to find the fucking hole and land. That's all you gotta do with Amir Khan.
So you think he didn't?
Terence Crawford, as far as Terence Crawford, as far as Canelo is concerned, pound for pound guy. As far as Danny Garcia is concerned, not a pound for pound guy. He did not tame or time Amir Khan the way those two guys did. And if he did just as well, he still didn't perform better than Danny Garcia. Like, and I do disagree because Amir Khan was landing 1-2s on him over and over and over, and Terence Crawford couldn't do anything about it. He had to start fighting. He had to come forward and start brawling him. Okay, Canelo could have very well done that against Amir Khan, and he wouldn't have gotten credit because people would say, "Oh, he weight bullied him." That's all he did, right? He still didn't get credit. But if he hold on, let me finish. If if Canelo just like walked through Amir Khan the way Terence Crawford had to walk through Amir Khan because he couldn't outbox him, then he would have gotten criticized for it. Danny Garcia wasn't walking through Amir Khan. He was setting him up, and he finally set him up. Terence Crawford got outboxed. Yeah, he caught him with a good shot, put him down, whatever. But Khan got up and outboxed him, in my eyes. And with Terence Crawford, he had to adjust. Amir Khan made him adjust. He made Terence Crawford do something he didn't want to do off the bat, right? And then Terence Crawford became a brawler, came forward and whooped his ass. No doubt about it. However, that's not generally considered. That's not the same kind of skill. He had to go to plan B with Amir Khan, and he had to turn into a brawler. Why? Because he didn't have the skill he got frustrated. The Terence Crawford's a good fighter, don't get me wrong. He could very well be pound for pound, but the record, it ain't there, man.
I'm gonna say something. Listen, if he ended up knocking him down the very first round, and his mind switched, this guy is easy pickings. Let me just walk him down. What makes you think that he fought the way he normally fights on the back foot after that point? Of course, he's going to go for the knockout. When you try to go for the knockout, you're going to get hit. If you're stepping forward into, not luring in, stepping forward into the other guy, you're going to get hit. That's why Errol Spence, the whole fight, he was trying to push, but, Porter is the same guy. He likes to push back. But he was getting clipped most of the fucking time. He was getting most outpointed fucking. I'll put that shit in slow mo too. You'll notice it. I'll put that shit on slow mo.
He was getting beaten up by. He was getting hit by a bomb. It doesn't matter if it was coming forward. Khan is not that good, especially this version.
I wouldn't call if you put Khan a bomb. First of all, I don't.
That version was. Let's be honest.
Okay,
and
he was
still getting hit,
and
you're still getting hit with 1-2s. Crawford defense was not on point. If you want to talk about pound for pound, you can't have that defense against a guy who's overmatched.
My Thunderdome, you want to jump in?
Okay, still about 10. Can everyone hear me?
Yep.
First of all.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, Precise isn't saying much that's wrong. I mean, when you want to, I've done this video myself, to be honest. I think it's probably still up. Saying Terence Crawford isn't top 5 pound for pound. This was before he moved up to welterweight, though. So this was, basically right after the Postall fight. And I had basically the exact same case that Precise is making. A lot of basically all the points. I might have said some extra things, can't remember. But yeah, it's like his record isn't amazing. It's hard for him to get the fights. I mean, granted, when he was in the divisions, he fought, whoever was there. Like when he went up to 40, Danny wasn't there no more.
Thunderdome, there's like a background noise, man. That people are complaining. There's like a background noise, like a clicking sound. Maybe it's your earphones.
Hold on, let me get closer. Let me try something.
Yo, guys, I'm gonna head out. I got one thing to say. I want to know your opinions about it.
Right.
Or if I don't know if this rumor is true. Let's just say it's a rumor. Actually, it's not that. I heard that Pacquiao said that he wouldn't want to fight Terence Crawford because he's like Mayweather with power. Is that true, or is that bullshit?
I think he has no power.
Video or it didn't happen. Video interview or it didn't happen, basically.
I don't know. Is there a video? Is there anything about that? Because I've only heard it.
Never heard that. I'm gonna look into it.
Pacquiao said Terence Crawford was scared to fight him. That's what Pacquiao said. If you're interested in what he said, is it? I'm not saying it's true. That's what he said.
In a video, or did he say it?
I think it was. Yeah, it was a video interview. I think Fight Hub or before his Matisse fight or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but they made a big deal out of it. Terence was asked about it by some, and this is my problem with Terence Crawford. Like, and I mentioned this on another show when he was asked about Floyd Mayweather, and the fact that Floyd Mayweather's cherry picking got brought up, and he got and the lady said Floyd always got criticized for it. What do you think about it? And he said that's smart. That's what he said. He said cherry picking is smart. So I mean, I'm just looking at what's in front of me. I'm not buying the hype. He's a good fighter. He's very talented. He could very well be the best welterweight. He's never proved it.
Real quick, what is the case that you're making, because I'm basically agreeing with everything you're saying. Are you saying he's not pound? Like, I don't give a fuck about this pound for pound shit anymore. Like I said, I don't even think we should do it. But
All right, guys, I'm out. See you guys later.
Peace.
have a good one, brother.
Take care.
I'm basically saying.
Are you saying
I
he's
get
like
what you're
not
asking.
a top 10 guy, not a top 15, not a top 5? What? Yeah, basically, what are you saying?
Look, anybody's pound for pound list is what it is, right?
Yeah.
You could make your rules to where Terence Crawford is number one, right?
No doubt.
I think it all depends on how you like judge fighters or whatever. It is what it is. But I don't think he is pound for pound. He's not in the conversation for the best fighter in the sport. For them, he's not in that
No doubt.
conversation.
Agreed. He definitely ain't
You want
number
to
one.
say he's number 5 or whatever? It's like, well, fuck it, it's your list. I don't care. You know, to me,
Would he even be on your top 10? Let's say.
Welterweights. No, let's just talk about welterweights.
Yeah, I'd put him on my top 10 pound for. I guess I'm not sure. I don't really do it like that either. I have like 2 or 3 guys that are vying for the number 1 spot. And
Would you put him
ain't
in your
nowhere clear step.
just like would you put him in a group of say 10 best fighters in the world right now?
I think based on the eye test, I would gamble and say that I think he is. I think he could very well be the best welterweight. But I want to see him prove it because I could be wrong. I've predicted fights wrong before, right? When you're doing pound for pound, you're essentially predicting all of his fights against everybody else in all divisions, right? You're saying he would beat everybody or more people than anybody else in boxing all across divisions, basically is what you're saying, right? When you say he's pound for pound number 1. He would have, if somehow we were able to have a tournament where everybody fights everybody all across divisions, Terence Crawford's record would be the best. He would have losses. Everybody would have losses, but he would have more wins than anybody else.
All right. So
and I just don't see that because for me, one last thing. For me, Terence Crawford is fighting in his natural weight division, and his team agree with me. So what he was doing before was weight bullying guys, and everybody does that. So I'm not gonna take credit away from him, but I'm not gonna give him credit for as a pound for pound fighter for fighting smaller guys. That's ridiculous to me. Now that he's in his natural weight division, I want to see him beat a top 10 welterweight or a top 5 welterweight. I want to see him beat somebody good, and then I'll have a better idea of how good he is in his natural weight division. After if he could dominate his weight division and clean it out, then he will have proved that he's pound for pound. Or if he like unifies the division and goes up to 154 and beats J-Rock, then he's in a conversation as far as accomplishments go in a pound for pound. But if you want to say he's pound for pound because I believe he is that good that he could do that already, then that's fine. I just disagree. That's all I'm saying.
All right, then I think, I think it'd be hard pressed for anybody to disagree with that. I think you're going a bit hard on him just to get that point across, though. Like when I was saying he's not top 5, that was my argument. Like this is like my argument. Yeah, maybe there's not many people that are seeing it this way. I'm not sure, but to me, it is fairly obvious. I mean, that his weakness is his resume for sure. There's just nothing there. You know, it's very vanilla. So that's where it doesn't hold up.
You think he beats J-Rock? You think he beats J-Rock?
No, right now, no. I would definitely favor J-Rock. He might be able to run around and outpoint him, but I just don't see it happening.
But wouldn't, like, if you let's say we want to compare him to Lomachenko, wouldn't Terence Crawford have to like unify middleweight to compare it to Lomachenko? Basically.
Yeah, but that's just not gonna happen.
Right,
Again,
he's not as good as Lomachenko.
No, and I don't think he is at all. I have Loma. I would think Loma is the best fighter in the world right now.
Yeah, but when Golovkin was in his prime, we believed, a lot of us who had him on the pound for pound list, that he could go up to 168 and even 175 and beat somebody. Maybe not everybody at 175, but he could grab a belt at light heavyweight in his prime. We believed it. Whether we were right or wrong, we'll never know, but we believed he could. Do we believe that Terence Crawford could unify middleweight right now?
Of course not.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think he's being held to the same standard as some of these other fighters.
Well, we know that that's the case at all times, honestly, sadly. But it's just the way it is, and I don't agree with it, and I don't abide by it. But yes, especially with the just the Western, the media and the commentators, I swear they're told ahead of time, this is the direction we want you to take this, and try to talk the fans into thinking this is what they're fucking seeing. It's sketchy, and then the favoritism for some fighters.
So what do you think? Let me ask you this, Thunderdome. What do you think about 3 welterweights being on Ring's top 10 pound-for-pound list right now? What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, come on. Like, these guys have to fight each other. They all got to mix it up. But 3 welterweights is fucking out of control. There should really only be 1 in a division, 2 at most. And that's, like, at most. And that's, like, Floyd Pacquiao type shit.
Yeah, those kind
Where
of
it's
guys.
really rare. Yeah, like, they got to be the best, like, the best 2 fighters in the fucking world. Or, top fighters in the world. And that just isn't the case. I mean, no. I'm sorry,
By the
Errol
way, I don't
Spence
think
should not be on
Errol
that list.
Spence. No, not at all. I agree. By the way, I just wanted to make that known because people think that you're talking shit
Were
about
we
Crawford,
about to
that you're
say
a
the
Spence
same thing
fanboy.
at the same time? We were
Yeah, but
both
you start giving one guy credit, they think that you're in this camp or that camp. I don't like either one of them, to be honest. I don't dislike them, but I don't like anybody, really, to be honest. And I don't think Errol Spence deserves to be anywhere close to pound-for-pound list, not based on accomplishments.
Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence has done absolutely nothing. The guy's literally weight bullied a bunch of tomato cans and fought Sean Porter to a life and death fight that a lot of people think he lost. So, I mean, come on. Dude he also has nothing on his resume, but his is way worse. I mean, you could say, well, he got the Sean Porter fight. I thought he won it, so, I mean, I'll give it to him. But it was ridiculous, with the low blows and everything. But real quick, dude, Sergey, I've been saying that to myself. Sergey was so dirty. I just got to say this real quick. He made Errol Spence actually look like a clean fighter. Like, I rewatched the Spence Porter fight, and I was like, damn, this ain't that bad.
He just low-blowed him. That's all Spence did. Sergey did every trick in the book, man.
Yeah, I was like, wow, it ain't really that bad, man. He's just hitting him low. Like, that's it. No elbows, no headbutts, no rabbit punches. Yeah.
You guys are missing also the clinching. There was a lot of clinching on his part, too. Not the worst, but I think it's getting overlooked, too.
Yeah.
Like octopus clinching, not just, falling into a clinch and working in a clinch. Octopus, like, locking both of Golovkin's arms.
Dude, I wanted to send your videos, bro, to Harvey Doc and be like, fucking, do you have an explanation for this shit?
You know what it is? He's first and foremost a New York referee, but because the PBC have had a lot of cards there, that's where we've seen him. We've seen him mostly on PBC when it comes to big fights. Derevyachenko's a PBC guy. I mean, it's not that difficult to figure this shit out, you know what I mean?
No, not at all. Yeah. I mean, you nailed it. That is what it is. Yeah. He's a Heyman guy.
Simple.
Heyman boys. Yeah, them Heyman boys. They're gonna come into town.
Heyman boys. Yeah, we're gonna have to end the show. It's been fucking 3 hours. Some shit. I gotta get some sleep.
Party pooper.
Yeah, I know. But thanks for joining us, guys.
All right, thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
Yeah, man. Cool chilling. Everybody have a good night.
All right. Take care, guys. Everybody in the chat, thank you, and thank you for your contributions on Bias Boxing, Taco Bernstein, and who else was it? Shit, damn it. The guy who calls in, forgot you, Tagalog. What's his name, Mr. BDA? Tagalog.
I don't know who you're talking. Filipino?
I think he's Filipino, man. But anyways, man.
Check the name there on the...
I think I can check. No, it's not here. Anyways, I'll put your name in the ticker upstairs, as you can see, next show. So thanks for your contribution. Don't forget to, if you missed the trivia TKO show, Johnny Boy against Cameron, go check that video out. It's already posted. It was a great fight. I don't know if you saw it, Mr. BDA. It was a close, competitive game. He went to sudden death, and well, if you didn't see it, I'm not gonna spoil it. But go check that trivia TKO show out. What else do we have here? We have the brackets here. Del Boy against Gonzalo, that's done. Johnny Boy against Cameron. Oh, I already spoiled it. Oh well, it is what it is. Guys, go check that out. Thunderdome, thank you for joining us. Craig Smith, Felipe Courtois, Black Lomachenko, Hard Recall, 01 Turlock, Nes Mendoza, Pig Panther, the Shepherd of Sons was there, Steven Schneider was there. Jesus Christ, who else was there? A bunch of people. But anyways, guys, gotta bounce.
Don't forget to check out Fight Film, which is Precise's channel, and check out Thunderdome Boxing Talk as well.
Gypsy Boxing Style has a channel. Guys, join us on Discord, man. We got all that information over there. Discord, the link is in the description. It's a 24/7 chat. There's always something going on there. Sometimes we have fights over there, right, Mr. BDA? We had everybody against Gypsy Boxing Style. That was pretty interesting. So yeah, check out the Discord. Anything else, Mr. BDA? We have Twitter. Also check that out.
One last announcement. I did start a boxing channel. No, we started a music channel. It's called Music from Beyond because we do have a community on Discord. And I decided, hey, listen, most people are hanging around during the night. I said, let's put a little music to it as well. Yeah. So there were a couple of people that checked that out the other day. Triple JJJ was in there. Found out we had a lot of common in terms of musical taste. We want to do a Halloween horrorcore rap show where we're just gonna, get a whole bunch of type of music like Gravediggers and all that, and put it in there 24/7. So we want suggestions on the Discord, music suggestions, genre suggestions, and we'll see if it picks up. It's called Music from Beyond.
We'll put the link in the description, guys. Music from Beyond.
That's right.
All right, guys. Take care. See you on Discord, I guess.